Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's turned in! It's the Anderlecht Donker who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good evening and welcome to the banks of the River Thames. We are at one of the most historic football grounds in the country. Craven Cottage plays host to Fulham against Wolverhampton Wanderers this evening, live here on Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me, as ever, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and we can also welcome along the former Wolves captain Sam Ricketts and the king of romance, as if anyone's seen his Instagram in the last couple of days, Chris Iwelumo.
Were you having it? Were you having that, Mikey? Were you?
As well. We should say many happy returns to Chris's partner, who, if anyone didn't know, celebrated a birthday this week, quite an important one. And Chris splashed out and made a big scene across his social media that's ruined it for men everywhere now who have seen on there. We will get to plenty of things in between now and the build-up and until the kickoff at 8 o'clock. We've got some special guests as well coming up a little bit later on. Boys, before we get into the team news in just a second, a quick reflection from both you, boys, Sam and Chris, because neither of you were with us on Monday night, but you'll have seen what happened in the West Ham game. So your thoughts on it, really, because I guess, Sam, we all kind of thought we were pretty decent going forwards, not so much at the back.
I was really pleased with what the attacking side looked like. It's a side which I think we've been stuttering with and threatened to look decent for a long time. Then all of a sudden in that game, we did look as dangerous and as electric, as quick and decent players as what we have been. Defensively, obviously, we struggle with West Ham's pace and power, and that's what West Ham are. I think Jesse Lingard was outstanding, obviously, in the game, but I was really encouraged with the attacking threat shown. He looked more dangerous, more chances, caused West Ham more problems, and very nearly got back in it in the second half.
Just on the back of what Sam's saying there, it has to come with a balance. I think we can all say, going forward, using the ball, dominating possession, creating chances. That's all what we want to see. But the defensive side being solid, not taking unnecessary risks, because, like you say, there was that element that the pace of West Ham, when they got possession, they are going to counter attack, and what they done earlier in the season, that result really hurt us, didn't it? They really put us to the sword. So we have to know what their strengths are. We have to then be a little bit game smart, manage the game properly, and as well as it is. I'm never going to say anything against the performance with the ball, but without the ball is just as important. So if you are dominating down one side, you have to be aware that you're leaving yourself open. You're leaving holes at the back. That, to be fair, West Ham did it on the night. They were clinical when they created, Sam, weren't they?
Yeah, Nuno would have been having kittens. That is totally not how he wants to play a game. He hates it being that open as that. But like you said there, I think it took the likes of like a Jesse Lingard. That, I think it was for Bowen's goal. He got into a situation where it was him and 4 Wolves players thinking, how's he going to get this? And he just had that burst of pace to get through it. Not how many players have got that. So on another day, it could have worked, maybe being a little bit more open, but that was just probably the wrong team to do it with. But like I said, Nuno would have hated being so open and conceding the goals the way they did as well. Certainly wouldn't have been pleasing. So I think we'll go back to being tight and hard tonight.
Well, we'll come back to the balance between attack versus defence, because Wolves are unchanged from the side that started on Monday night, which means we expect them to continue with the back four. Obviously, we don't know that is definite as yet. We will only find that out when they line up. But looking at the personnel, we would imagine it is exactly the same, Tomo, which might be a surprise to some. Is it a surprise to you?
Not really. So look, we know that he wants to go with that back four. We know that he wants to try it out for probably the remainder of the season just to see how it goes. But I was surprised with the way that we defended in that first half. It was better in the second half. But even though we didn't create as much in that second half, but so look, we can't leave ourselves open as much as we did in that first half, the counter-attack. And me and you were talking off air earlier, just saying that it's what we done for the first 2 years that was in the Premiership, that we was a counter-attacking team, we was letting teams have the ball, and that's what we were doing to other teams, and we had it inflicted on ourselves the other night. But they've just got to be careful. So like I said to you as well, 2 of their players got booked early on where they took that yellow card to prevent Wolves from breaking at them and getting at them. We didn't. We allowed them to turn, get at us, and then, well, you know that they caused us major problems on that counter-attack. But we've just got to be not as naive as we were the other night. We've got to get tight. We've got to stop players turning and counter-attack against us.
Chris Iwelumo, João Moutinho is back on the bench, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder how much the situation in terms of the injuries and players out the Wolves have had might have affected that decision in terms of if they didn't have as many injuries, they might have been tempted to throw him back in. But given the fact that Johnny is now missing for the rest of the season, we still don't know whether Raul is coming back. Willie, we hope, will rejoin the squad next week. They kind of can't afford to put João in from the start, him break down, and then he missed the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, and I feel that with Raul as well, I just feel that, you know, I know there's no such thing as a write-off season, you know, that he is looking at its very transitional period. I just don't think there's any reason to risk players when there's not a need to. I know that we want to go out there and win games, but we want them there for the longevity as well. So I just feel, okay, Moutinho's came onto the bench. I'd be very surprised if he made an appearance, but maybe it's one of those things, when you come back from an injury, you just want to get some minutes. You want to go into some proper challenges, because mentally as well, that is so important. And that's the exact same with Raul Jimenez as well. When he feels it's time, that it's not like no contact things. I'm looking at it, I'll be honest with you, you know, I think if Fabio Silva started tonight, I'm not against that. He's coming off the bench. I thought he took his goal fantastically well. I'm a fan of Willie and Josie. 10 games now, 9 starts, no goals. You know what I mean? And I understand he's been brought in to do a job. The manager has... The first goal is the hardest to get. Trust me. I do know that. It is so... Once he gets it, the rest it'll follow. But at the minute, it's... Fabio Silva, I know he's a young lad and he's one for the future, but he's ticking boxes. He's coming off the bench. He's doing well. He's linking up. I think that's his second goal from the bench. He came off against Burnley up at Turf Moor as well. Gets a goal. You know, it's just one of those little things. So we have.
Well, this is an interesting point because, and all three of you really can have a chat about this, because when Eddie Jones took over England Rugby, and I know it's a different sport, but he wanted to change the terminology from replacements, substitutes, to finishers, to players who play a specific role within the group. And I wonder, Sam, you maybe go first, and then Looms and Tomo can come back in, on whether we need to look at Willian as being the starter and Fabio as being the finisher, and whether at this stage of Fabio's career, that's a better role to look at him as, not necessarily as a sub, but as a game finisher.
Yeah, I've spoken about this before. I think because he's young and he's still finding his feet, and he had an indifferent start, shall we say. Everyone sees his potential and everything, but it's far easier coming on for a period of time, maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes, because you're fresher into the game. It gets you confidence. And I thought he took his goal really well the other night, really well. And obviously delighted for him to do that. With William Jose, you can see he wouldn't be that. I wouldn't see him coming on, seeing him scoring a goal.
Yeah.
I don't know what Looms. I was watching the game the other night, and some of his couple of crosses come in. He had a touch. You think just swivel and shoot, and he'd set someone else.
Sam. It's confidence, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if he's scoring goals, he's nicked a couple the game before. He doesn't even think it's in the back of the net. But what I will say, if you go to what it was like when I was playing and Sam Vokes was coming off the bench. Now we all know how quality Sam Vokes is, right?
Yeah.
But coming off the bench, he was unbelievable. Super sub. Mick McCarthy started him a couple of those games, and he just got nowhere near.
It's a different game, isn't it? It's completely
100%.
different when you're coming on.
Yeah, and that's a fair enough argument, Mikey, what you said. And I think that's probably the way. Willie and Josie, he's a presence, he's an outlet, he'll do the ugly stuff. And then, when we need a little bit of flair, a little bit of quality, Fabio Silva, not taking anything away Willie and Josie, but as he's a striker, we are going to judge him on goals. At the end of the season, when you open the programme, you think how many goals he scored. That's what you're going to look at. It's not about 10 out of 10 performances, assists, or whatever it is. It's about how, as a striker, and he'll be feeling it himself. So I think it's one of those, but you're spot on with that. As a manager, you think, okay, Fabio can come on, he can change a game from the bench. He's got that. Whereas Willie and Josie, I know what it's like coming off from the bench for myself. I was like, oh, you know what? I need other players to bring me in to actually get up to the match speed itself. And he is kind of similar in that kind of mould.
I'll tell you what else I think at the minute is, the way I would do it with Fabio now is probably for the next 4 or 5 games, keep him coming on, keep his confidence high, 20, 30 minutes per game. Then all being well, listen, we win tonight, then I think we're out of any worries about it. I think let him start. Go and start the last 3, 4 games of the season to get ready for next season again. Go on. However you play, you're going to play the last 3 or 4 games of the season and try and take that step from being a super sub into can you be a starter for us next year?
That's the manager. That's the manager in Sam there. Because it's fantastic man management. You know what? It doesn't matter how you perform. The next 4 or 5 games you're going to start. And then that player in himself knows, right, you know what, I've got 4 or 5 games to do what I do. And it's like a weight, isn't it? You've taken that kind of pressure off the player. He knows he's playing and he just gets himself ready and focused for those 5 games.
He'll be in a better place to start,
100%.
Having been on the bench and coming on and doing well. And we're now talking, should he start? Whereas early on, he was starting and he wasn't confident, still getting to know everyone. Right, let's see you play 3 or 4 games on the back of being confident and coming off the bench and scoring.
Spot on.
Tomo, because I guess it's that element, isn't it? That look, when he signed, he was never envisaged to be starting matches. It was always going to be building up to a point that we might have reached now, where rather than it being 5-10 minute cameos, it's 20-30 minute cameos. Because he's a young man, and you have to go through the stages to be ready to do those things.
Yeah, it is. He's still learning the game. So he's still learning how to play in the Premiership, a foreign country where he's come from. So he's still learning his trade as such to play in the Premier League. And look, we've seen it time and time again. Look, we know he's got some good ability. They've invested in the talent that he's going to bring. Okay, I don't personally think that he's ready yet, but he needs to keep having taste of the football. He needs to keep playing. But look, I don't know about starting him at the moment. I think William gives us more of a focal point up front. I think that he shows his experience. I know he needs a goal. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the way that he plays, he plays in that central position. He brings people into play. And I think that Fabio Silva was struggling to do that a little bit because of the physicality of it. I think that, look, that'll come. These are things that he's going to learn, he's going to improve. But I just think for me, he just needs to just keep learning from William, from Raul Jimenez. I'm sure that within training, and these are things that he's going to do. So, but look, he's going to build up his strength. He's going to build up his experience as he keeps doing. Took his goal unbelievably well the other night. I thought it was a great finish. But he's still a young boy. And so, look, at the time before we brought William in, he was struggling for me. I thought that he was struggling because of the physicality of it, as I mentioned before. But again, he looks a great talent to have in the squad.
Tomo, would you not say for the fact that when we brought in Neto as well, it was a similar kind of thing? He wasn't going to be playing, and I think what Wolves have done with him, and he's given him a little taste, and all of a sudden when he's performing well, he'll stay in for a little bit, but he's mainly coming off the bench. And then look at this season, he's been the main man. Yeah, so you have to be patient with the players.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but there's a lot of money spent. I think that's what gives us that kind of probably unrealistic expectation from him. Because there was a lot of money spent. But again, we've got to remember his age. We've got to remember that Nuno and the staff and the football club, they bring through young players in the right way. They give them a little taste of it. They get used to it. And then all of a sudden, the following season, Fabio Silva, trust me, from what he's learned this season, he's going to be a completely different player next.
Yeah. And we said about Neto, when he said, look, again, he's having taste coming on a sub and better. So he went during lockdown. What he did, he realised he had to build himself up. He had to make himself stronger. And Silva's going to have to do that as well. He's going to have to build himself up because of the position that he plays in. He needs that stature. He needs that presence up there. Yeah. Look, there's no doubt about it. He can finish and he can score goals. But this will come as he gains experience and he gets older.
Let's talk about Pedro Neto a little bit. And then we'll just very quickly, Sam, I'll get your view on it. And then we'll go to our guest and then we'll come back to it, boys. Because Pedro Neto has got 1 goal in 20 now. How much do you think the return of Daniel Podence into this lineup might just ease a little bit of expectation of Pedro Neto, Sam?
To an extent, yeah, but I still expect Neto to do more than he's doing. He's been brilliant this year, and he has been the main man, like Looms has just said. But you've got to come with that end product now. You've got to get more goals and a few more assists as well. Daniel Podence, will he help him a little bit more creativity, come from the central areas, possibly? And obviously, it's another goal threat, which we need to score more goals than from all areas. But certainly, I think Neto, to go to that next level, he's been excellent this year. But really, if you're going to step on again next year and want to be anything like what he wants to be as a player and what he wants to achieve, he's got to go and get in double figures goal-wise. Has to. For his position, his quality, he should be getting double figures.
Okay, I want to come back to this chat about Daniel Podence with the boys in a second, but we have our first guest waiting to join us on Matchday Live Extra tonight. The former Fulham and, of course, former Tottenham, Portsmouth and Bolton, amongst others. Sean Davis is waiting to join us. We will see him in just a second here on Wolves TV. Matchday Live Extra. Welcome to you, Sean. Bit dark where you are, blimey. Hello, mate.
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
Ledge, how are you?
Cosmic, you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right.
I didn't know you had to put a suit and tie on.
Yeah, mate, you got to have a little go, haven't you?
You should have seen him earlier, mate. He wasn't looking this good when we were practicing beforehand. First and foremost, Sean, I know you do watch quite a few of the Fulham games. What have you made of them in recent weeks? Because it seems to have been quite an up and down season, really.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that Scotty's got the lads, hasn't felt too sorry when they're down. They know what position they're in. They had a bad start, but since obviously the signings have come in January, they've been fantastic. Obviously disappointing not to get a result at Villa last week, but the boys have never kind of sulked or let anything like that get to them. They've dusted themselves off and we'll go again tonight and try and get the points that we need.
Yeah, how big psychologically will that defeat to Villa be?
I don't think it will be bad. I think Scotty's maintained, that it's going to be a hard season. We're going to be in and around it. If we finish one place above the relegation spot, it's a fantastic season for us. So I think the boys will start the game. Hopefully they'll start the game well, but I don't think that result will pay too much dividends in tonight's game.
Sean, how impressive you've been with Scotty Parker. You've got to remember it's his first season. Obviously he went down with Fulham and then he's brought them straight back up. But he's not kind of shied away from, he's not tried to just change his philosophy. He's got them playing the way that he wants, no matter the result, because he believes in that kind of that style and brand of football.
Yeah, no, it's a bit frustrating at times, the style, because they have given away some silly goals in some silly areas. But one thing I will say is that all the players, when you speak to them, they're all in tune. They ain't getting carried away when they get a great result. They're not too down when they have a bad result. And that's probably good credit to Scott and his staff. He's kind of instilled the confidence in them, and the players have bought into what he's doing. And for a manager, if the players don't buy into what you're doing, you've got no chance. So that's half the battle won. So the players seem to like playing for him. They seem to enjoy training, and they're all fighting. There's not a game where I've watched and thought the players ain't really trying here. They've given up. They always go to the final whistle, no matter what the result or the score is in the game.
Yeah, Sean, you said about the signing that he's brought in. Who do you think have been the key players for him then that he's brought in?
The two centre halves. Anderson could play for any one of the top 6 sides. I believe he's that good. To bring him in and obviously and then to make him captain at such a young age, he's been fantastic. And Thompson as well. We can't. Their partnership at the back is helped massively, because it's like if you're conceding goals left, right, and centre, confidence does get drained. But since those two have come in, they've steadied the ship. It seems like there's a bit of organisation at the back, and we're not giving away silly goals anymore.
Looking on social media, though, Sean, I think a few Fulham fans frustrated that Tosin Adarabioyo is not starting. Some suggestion that they might have switched to a back 3 just at the moment when Wolves have gone to a back 4.
Yeah, that does. I'm literally getting the teams now, so that is a surprise to me that he's dropped him. But he knows best, I suppose. He knows how the players have been training. He knows who's physically at 100% and who's not. So we don't really know the reason behind that. I'm sure he'll come out of it, but yeah, I'm not really keen on the back three, to be honest. I think you can get exposed down the sides when you're playing against it. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game anyway. It's going to be a tough game, but yeah, I'm not keen on the back three, if I'm honest.
Go on, Sam.
Sorry, my little lad just come in then. Shawnee, who do we need to look out for tonight from an attacking sense? Who are the boys?
I'm a big fan of Bobby Reid, to be honest. I love his energy. I love the way he's always running forward. He's always breaking the lines, and he's played in so many different positions. He can play in the 10. He's done a defensive job on the right hand side. Obviously, Mitro's in. I don't know if he's starting. Is Mitro starting the game?
Yeah.
Mitro's been in great form, obviously, internationally. But when you do play Mitro, we need the likes of Bobby Reid, Carvalho's, the Loftus-Cheeks to make the runs beyond him, because he hasn't got the legs to stretch the opposition. So when he does play, we need players to run off him. And in certain games, it's looked great, but then in certain games when that hasn't happened, we've struggled.
The player I always like looking at, Loftus-Cheek, he just glides around the pitch and you watch him play and think, oh, he's got some ability. And then, I don't know whether it be injuries or something, he'll be on the bench for a couple of games. But when he's on song, he's some player, isn't he?
Oh, well, you know what it's like. He had a long-term injury, mate, and you know how long it takes to get back to full fitness. He has got back to full fitness. For me, he needs to create more, needs to score more goals, because he's got all that in his locker.
Where would you play him?
I would play him in the 10 role. I don't think he's good out wide. I think he loses effect. I think if you can play him in the 10 role, but then he needs to open his legs up and go in behind instead of coming short all the time. But ability-wise, yeah, he's very good, but he does need to, the numbers need to be better for a player with his ability, i.e. scoring goals and creating assists.
Sean, just before we let you go, I know Scott Parker suggested this game is must win, although I think he's kind of said that all the games remaining for the rest of the season are must win. Do you think there's extra pressure on tonight, though? Because maybe he'll be looking at it and thinking, if he can close the gap to Wolves to 6 points with a win tonight, that really drags Wolves into it. So tonight is almost real must win for Fulham.
Yeah, it is a must win game. We can't lose this game. Let's just say that we can't lose this game. Ideally, 3 points would be fantastic. But I think they all are. This is the business end of the season. A lot of people wouldn't have put Fulham in this position. So to be in this position is giving, obviously, all the fans and the players that little bit of hope that we can keep ourselves in this division, because after the first 8 games, everyone had written us off. Even the bookies have written us off. So this is definitely a not lose game. We cannot lose this game. If we get a point, we can dust ourselves and go again. But ideally, 3 points would be fantastic.
Sean, it's been brilliant to have you on. Thank you very much. We'll get Sam Ricketts to send you one of his lights from his bookcase behind you just to light up your room there for late next time.
Listen, I'm an out of work footballer. Electricity costs a lot in when we. You know what?
Thank you very much, my friend. Speak soon. Look after yourself.
Enjoy paying £10 bottle of beer in London.
Thank you, mate. Sean Davis with a tip on Matchday Live Extra this evening. It's interesting, isn't it, boys, talking about pressure because, as much as it is on Fulham tonight and they need points no matter who they're playing, this feels like one of those games this evening, Tomo, where if you're Wolves, you're looking at it and going, well, we can't really afford to lose this, because all of a sudden we might be looking over our shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. So look, they had a couple of decent results, and I know they've dropped off a little bit, Fulham, but they've put themselves in contact with the rest of them above them. And again, if they get a win tonight, again, it drags us down there a little bit as well. So it's I know there's a few games left and they've played one more game than us. but it definitely drags you into it. And Wolves have got to be careful here. So you can see that Fulham have got a little bit of confidence. They want to get the right result. They'll be throwing absolutely everything at this game and the remainder of the games to get themselves out of trouble. So, look, Wolves have just got to make sure they don't concede, because we've said this time and time again. We can't keep conceding that first goal.
So, Chris Iwelumo, is tonight a night for characters? Because having conceded those 3 goals early on Monday night, we could end up learning an awful lot about what is predominantly quite a young group in the way they've responded in the last couple of days.
Yeah, you know what? It's what Tomo said there. I think the first goal is so important. Now, on the backside of that, you look at Fulham. They've got the second youngest starting 11 in the Premier League. So again, that experience has to come in and play a part. You say characters. I'm saying experience, knowing that they are going to go hell for leather, but if we can football them to death and create chances but manage the game, I think if we score the first goal tonight, I see them crumbling. You know, I think with the pressure they're under, they know that they had the kind of bit between their teeth and they were winning game, going unbeaten. You know, had some great results in that run, but then they've tailed off 3 defeats in the last 3. So they want to try and get back to winning ways. Just don't get beat. It's not enough. They have to win tonight. We have to make sure that we manage the game, we're on top, but the experience that we've got in the team, they have to step up and they have to make sure that they're organised and we're dictating with the ball like we know we can do.
Well, one of the things, Sam, the reason I say character, because, you know, look, there were a lot of fans who looked at Monday night and said there were 2 opportunities, and you mentioned one of them with Jesse Lingard running through, where you want someone who knows a bit of the dark arts of football just to hook and take a yellow.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much that comes into the thinking of character, building players who are prepared to do those kind of things that sometimes you need to do to win a game of football.
I think it's a game understanding, isn't it? And that comes with experience. It comes and probably ends up being classed as character. But there's certain situations which you just can't let the opposition get out from. Tomo said earlier, Craig Dawson took one. I think he got in a 1v1 with Traore or Neto, something out wide, and just pulled him up, took his yellow card, and that was it. Attack over. You just got to be able to manage the game. And we're getting into a point now when we had this with John Hartson a few weeks ago. We don't want to lose tonight because all of a sudden we're 6 points down. That means next weekend, Sheffield United is a huge game. Won't be easy, huge game. Then you're going into Burnley. Flip it, win tonight. You're 12 points out, and all of a sudden you can start talking like I was earlier about, maybe playing Fabio Silva for the last couple of games. Lose tonight, and all of a sudden you're relying on a point, or you're relying on a win in the next 3 or 4 games. So you don't want to be going into the last 3 games of the season wanting to or needing to win a couple of games to get out of it. So it's a big one tonight. Big experience, character, game know-how, whatever you want to call it, you have to show it tonight.
Let's just before we get to our next guest, Tomo, what were you like with the dark arts? A little tug here and there?
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, just trying to off-put players. That's all it is. So, like, sly little tug here. So, like, just sometimes stepping on the toes, just a little nudge, just something just to unsettle them. It was anything. So, like, you know what I mean? So, look, he can say, like, oh, it's cheating or whatever it is, but it's gamesmanship as well. Everybody seems to know the little bits and pieces of it. West Ham experienced players at their back. They knew they were getting run at. All of a sudden, take that yellow card. So, look, it just knocks the momentum out of the attacks. And they were willing to do that. We had 2 or 3 opportunities to do that the other night, and we've allowed them to run on, and they've ended up scoring goals from it. And sometimes you just got to have an understanding of the game, what's going to happen. And especially with players like Lingard. Lingard is a great player, and he's going to cause you a problem. And sometimes you just got to take that card sometimes.
Because no one knew more about a tactical foul in the build-up to a goal than Chris Iwelumo. No response. Fair enough. Well, we will,
no response. It's not parcels, isn't it? It's got to be done, hasn't it?
That has been discussed many times on the Old Goal Club podcast. Right, let's get a very special guest on to Matchday Live Extra tonight. A man who has played for both Fulham and Wolves of recent seasons, taking a break from the game at the moment for medical reasons, but well known to everybody on the show. A big welcome to Matchday Live Extra to Kevin McDonald. How are you, my friend?
How are you? All right?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Before the banter starts flying between you and Sam, especially, how are you at the minute, first and foremost?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, you just caught me after a game of golf, to be fair.
I was going to say, he's got his golf gear on. He's
As you can see, I literally just got back in the house now. So, yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah, all good. Yeah, just, getting on with things and, yeah, fine. Thanks.
I thought it was a stormtrooper outfit. You're just going to put a helmet on. You know what I mean? But it's all good, mate. It's all good.
I'll tell you what, with his hair, it actually looks like that now.
Tremendous, mate. It's that the little flick, mate. It's looking a million.
Yeah,
Kevin, mate.
That's covering up the wing backs.
Kevin, mate, how tough was it to make the decision to take the break from the game and go for the operation?
I mean, it was what needed to be done, really. As much as I would love to continue to play this season, which I probably could have done, it was for the main thing for myself was my health, and that's it. To be honest with you, as soon as that gets put into question, it was a no-brainer. There was no second decision. It was always going to be health over football, and that's the way it will be until we're all good.
What's
Kevin,
been the reaction?
Going on? Sorry.
Go on, Sam.
Because I can remember, I never thought anything of it, but I can always remember you talking about being in, paying after games or shakes or Dales. I can't have that shake; it hurts me or something. And everyone just kind of laughed it off, really.
Yeah, I think most people did. Yeah, now it's coming back to haunt everyone. No, I think with the kind of condition it is, obviously protein's a big thing for it. So the more you after games that you have protein shakes and things like that, and so on. So the more protein I have, the worse obviously it is for myself. So that's something I need to kind of deal with throughout. But again, it's hard. You need protein to play football and stuff. So it's an awkward position, really.
I just thought you were trying to get out of doing the proper recovery.
I probably was, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I probably definitely was, but that's all it was, really, to be honest with you.
Kev, was that something even obviously we played together at Burnley? Was that something that all the teams that you played at, the medical staff, they all knew exactly your condition? Because it wasn't something that you spoke about.
No.
I said at Burnley that you were the best player in training every single day, and it was one of those things. When I read your story, I was like, I had no idea myself.
Yeah, everyone knew. Every club I've been at, the doctors, physios, all the people behind the scenes, I've been top drawer, to be fair. As you said, we've kept it quiet throughout the most part of my career, to be honest with you. Only close friends and family really knew. But at some point, last couple of years, we'll be getting asked so many questions after questions, like why you're not doing this and why you're not doing that. So at some point I had to come out, and I didn't want to just come out after I've had the operation and say, I've had a kidney transplant. We thought, make people aware of it and make people aware that I'm comfortable with it. And I think that was the best route to go down.
Yeah, what was it like letting everybody know and the reaction? Because we had Jack Price on the other week just after you'd announced it, and he kind of came on. He said he'd spoken to you, and he was like, "Yeah, he's just exactly the same. He's fine."
I mean, for everyone else, it was a shock. Of course, to the football world, to people outside football, it was a shock. Yeah, but for myself, it was another day because it's been ongoing for so many years. It's just getting closer towards the time where we need a transplant. So for us, it was just another day. But I can see why. Obviously, a lot of people have been shocked by it. Yeah, but the reaction was great from everyone. The message of support throughout the whole of football and outside the football has been top drawer. And
I know you're quite keen to come back playing, but if that doesn't happen, you've got a career in coaching lined up, haven't you? You and Sam could get together as a dream team.
Well, I mentioned it before, and he paid it off, to be fair. So,
I got a sack, lad. That was a problem. I didn't have a job for you.
So I mean, I've been looking at that for the past couple of years. I've done a lot of studying towards it, and I've been with the 23s, the 23s and 18s at Fulham. I've been there every week, so I take a couple of days a week in there. So it's been really good experience, and I went into it quite comfortable, better than I thought, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's definitely an option for sure if I don't get back playing.
What about
he's
the
good.
game?
I've heard he's good. I've heard from my reports he's a good coach.
Wow. Well, yeah, maybe this is the future. Maybe we could all get involved when Sam gets a job again. I'll happily come on the coaching staff. Tomo's up for it. He's a PE teacher. He knows a bit or two about it. We'll all get on it. Kev, I've got to ask you about the game tonight, I guess, because both these teams have come a long way in recent seasons. Wolves especially have come a long way since your time at the football club, haven't they?
I mean, at the start, obviously, when I first signed there, the club was pointing in the right direction. It went down. It went through a tough time, and when Kenny obviously came in and brought obviously that team in, it was slowly just getting there. With that first season, we were unlucky to miss out on the playoffs in the second season, and from that moment a few years ago, it was always just going that way. And it's a club that deserves to be where it is. They've been brilliant for season after season, and they're an established Premier League team now. So it doesn't surprise me one bit with the whole setup of the club from the top to the bottom. It's a great club, and it's no surprise if you ask me.
If you're in the Fulham dressing room tonight, what are you saying to the players around you about what they have to do tonight? Because it is a very young group, isn't it? But again, there's no fear. They play the same way. You know what to expect from them. But what are you telling them, being one of the experienced players?
I mean, it's one of them. It's an awkward one for Fulham here tonight because, Wolves of recent have looked, more kind of fragile at the back than they have in recent years, to be honest with you. So I think they'll look at that, and a huge outlet for them now is Mitro on form. That's a big bonus for Fulham. So I think they'll be trying to, they'll be playing a lot into Mitro. I'm sure of it. And listen, it's one of them ones. If Wolves get back to their ways of being resolute and hard to beat, then it could be a close game because Fulham are exactly the same. They've been really hard to beat of recent, and they're shutting up shop. And it got potential to be a great game. It really does. It could go either way, as I'm sure you all know.
Ev, what was it like actually playing against Wolves and coming up against people like Ruben Neves?
Yeah, well, the first time we got absolutely slapped. Back at the Molyneux, I think it was my first game back, and I thought, oh yeah, you get that little buzz. Well, let's go and show them kind of, where I've came and stuff like that, and we got absolutely abused. We did. We were miles off it, and Wolves, to be fair, were brilliant. And then when we obviously played them back at our place, we done much better, and it kind of the roles were reversed. Really, we done really well against them. But you know what it's like when you go to Wolves and they're on form. It's a tough place to go. And we found it hard, but it was good going back. I loved every minute at Wolves. I really did. It was such a good time. I classed myself as had a successful time there, and it was really good and great to go back.
What are you going to be like watching tonight? Nervous?
Oh, it makes no difference to me, no. Listen, I've got so much respect for both teams. Fulham's my club at the moment in time, and I'll enjoy watching the game. Whatever the result is, I'm sure I'll enjoy it regardless.
Well, listen, mate, I'm going to let you go because these boys have got to do predictions, and I'm not going to try and make you do that at all. But listen,
go on, Mikey. He'll do it. He'll give me a score. He'll give me a score. He doesn't sit in the fence there, Kev. Well, he's going to have to predict Fulham to win, though, isn't he? Because they're paying
no chance. So 3-1 Wolves. Nah, I'm only joking. I'll go for 2-1 Fulham.
Go on, Sam.
I haven't thought about it. I kept thinking, all I want to know is, Kev, how was your golf today? What'd you shoot?
Oh, it was tragic the first 6 holes, and after that, I was good. I was good after that, yeah.
Nice. I'll go 2-1 Wolves. Get 2 on the counter-attack.
Looms?
I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Tomo?
I'm going to be bold and go 3-1 Wolves.
Oh, very bold.
You've left 2-0, Tomo.
2-0. Thanks very much, for leaving 2-0. Indeed. Kevin McDonald, thank you very much, mate. And I know all Wolves fans will want to wish you the very best and get well soon. Stay safe and healthy, my friend.
Thank you very much.
All the best, Kev.
Take care, Kev.
Yes.
Take care.
See you.
Cheers, pal. Kevin McDonald. And one day, perhaps, we will all be on Sam Ricketts' coaching staff together in the
I'm in.
You're in. You're playing, lad. You're not coaching, you're playing.
Hey, you know what? I just got reminded. Did you know that I done my A licence with Nuno? You know that? I just got told that the other day. I forgot he was on the course. How bad is that? Unbelievable.
Boys, thank you very much indeed. We'll say thank you to Sam Ricketts and Chris Iwelumo because everybody would have seen the news that came out from Buckingham Palace today, the passing of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the players are gathering around the centre circle now. So we'll say thank you very much to Sam and to Chris. More from the boys at half-time, and we will bring you a 2-minute silence here in just 1 second here on Wolves TV. So we are here at Craven Cottage, and everybody will gather around the centre circle and stand to pay 2 minutes of respect. Football paying its respects to His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, who passed away today at the age of 99. So Craven Cottage is the setting for Fulham against Wolves. You can already hear Conor Cody shouting loud and proud. 5 games without a win and 11 points worse off than the same stage last season. Injury problems have been mounting. It's been a tough return from the international break for Wolves, but after Monday's defeat to West Ham comes a quick opportunity for morale-boosting 3 points against a Fulham side who have the worst home record in the division. Scott Parker's team have lost 4 in 5, including the last 3 here at Craven Cottage. Their only home wins against the only 2 teams below them in the table. Wolves have won 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two, including a Pedro Neto-inspired 1-goal victory at Molineux in October, but they haven't won here in 2 attempts under Nuno. Perfect time then to put that right tonight. Wolves are unchanged from the side that started the game against West Ham on Monday. Rui Patricio in goal. It means that continue as a back 4 of Nelson Semedo, Conor Cody, Romain Saiz and Ryan Aït-Nouri, Leander Dendoncker and Ruben Neves in midfield. Daniel Pedence playing behind an attacking 3 of Pedro Neto, Willian Jose and Adama Traore. Andy Thompson is alongside me. Fulham in their white shirts with black sleeves, black shorts and white socks against Wolves in the change kit, 3rd kit this season, maroon shirts and shorts with green socks, aka their Portugal strip. And it'll be Fulham to get us underway very shortly indeed.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a tough. So Mitrovic coming back into the side, great international break he had, scoring some goals, and just got to be careful trying to stop the supply up to him because we know he's a strong lad, he knows he's a target man, and they'll be trying to hit him on every occasion that they can.
So Wolves playing from left to right as we look at it first half, which means they're defending the end where the Wolves supporters would normally be. It's the neutral end, the Putney end, away to our left-hand side, the Riverside stand over on the far side that is being rebuilt. The TV cameras are still on that side of the ground. So if you're watching on TV with the sound from us, we are on the opposite side. You might be able to see us at some point popping up. We're at the front of the press box. Wolves playing a long ball down the left-hand side. We're in the Johnny Haynes stand. And it's the Hammersmith end that Wolves are attacking. Daniel Podence has the ball heading that way early, but he loses it to Decordova-Reid, though Jonathan Moss will pull it back for a Wolves free kick.
Yeah, so again, look, you can see the way that Fulham was set up. They have gone with that 3 at the back. And they've just got to try and get our wide men into it. I think that was the big thing for me the other night. We didn't really get our wide men. You look at when Traore went on that run and supplied the opportunity for the goal. That was probably one of his best runs throughout the game. He didn't really offer that in that second half. Just need more consistency from the 2 wide lads.
Semedo getting set to launch this into the penalty area. It's a curling delivery. It was headed goalwards by Willian Jose, but a couple of feet wide of the right-hand post of Alphonse Areola.
Yeah, so good ball in from Semedo. It was more of a glancing header, wasn't it, from Willian? So didn't really get that much contact on it. Just glanced it past it. So the keeper had it covered well and truly there. Just watching the replay again. Yeah, just needed a little bit more direction towards the goal, didn't he? So just more skidded off his head there. And actually the firm contact that he needed.
Fulham with Alphonse Areola in goal. Then that back 3 of Joachim Andersen, Terence Congolo and Ola Aina, with Kenny Tete and Anthony Robertson, the wing backs. Harrison Reed, Mario Lamina and Ruben Loftus-Cheek in midfield. Probably Decordova-Reid supporting Alexandra Mitrovic up top. Mitrovic has a decent record against Wolves, it has to be said.
Yeah, so look, we've seen it time and time again, hasn't he? So look, when he puts himself up against that last man, he's a strong boy, ball played up to him, he's able to bring players into it, and that's what we've got to try and stop. The quality into him, we've got to put pressure on the ball, because we know that he's not going to run you behind, but what he will do, he'll bring players into play.
Scored in the win that Fulham had here in 2018, which was at the end of February, Wolves promotion season. Fulham ended up coming up with Wolves anyway, but at the time, they were very much looking to try and close the gap, just as they are in a different circumstance here this evening.
Yeah, it's been an indifferent season for Wolves, hasn't it? So a lot with the injuries that we spoke about. Also as well, so look, the changing formations that we've been looking at. But again, so look, you've got quality players there. Just got to try and initiate them in the games now and try and get something out of it. Finish the season on a high.
There's Cody across to Romain Saiz, who will look to play it to the wide left for Aït-Nouri over the halfway line, looking to try and run at speed away from a couple of challenges. Rather ran out of room though. Tight over on the far touchline.
I'm going to say he'll end up one of the chairs by those who tied into the touchline over there.
New stand that Fulham are building is going to come down pretty steeply towards that touchline, and it's ready. A long way from being ready, it should be said at the moment. Anderson finding Congolo for Joachim Andersen. Sean Davis on our build-up suggesting he could play for any of the top 6 in the Premier League.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him, Anderson. So look, it'd be interesting to see him live and see what how good he is. So look, with Sean giving him all those big accolades, saying how he could play in the top 6. Interesting.
On loan from Lyon. He's carrying the ball up towards the base of the centre circle, finding Congolo. Back in field to Anderson and across to Aina. Look to play it out wide on the right-hand side. Go back in field. Carried forwards again by Lamina. And then a chase on down that right-hand side. Adama Traore tracking back and looking a bit annoyed that the man had gone down a bit comfortably. Kenny Tete.
Yeah, so I think Tete just got the upper hand on him there, but I think he caught him up. Yeah, he's just edged him out, hasn't he? He's gone down pretty easy.
Rather slipped off the greased up arms of Adama Traore.
There's a subtle little nudge there, I think, off him as well. So it's, but I think he just switched off a bit there, Traore, which allowed him then Tete just to have a little bit more on the ball than he thought he would have.
A little bit of retribution as Tete barged into Traore. Wolves have got possession back, but William shows they couldn't hold on to it around the halfway line.
Yeah, that's where it's got to stick, hasn't it? So like he's generally good with that, where it comes up to him.
Come Fulham again, though, looking to launch it through the middle towards Decordova-Reid, headed down by Semedo. Dendoncker turning on the edge of his own penalty area. Semedo's in with a challenge, and Cody with a clever reverse ball to find Aït-Nouri. Up to Traore. Traore looking infield, just about holding onto the ball. Awkward pass back for Neves, and Neves has been robbed of possession, but Sai's put his foot through it and cleared it downfield. Neto putting pressure on Robinson. Launches forwards. Cody will cushion a header down for Semedo, and Semedo miscontrols. Decordova-Reid in there, and that will be a Fulham throw.
Yeah, so I think he's probably just a little bit too close to Connor Cody there, wasn't he? Just got the mix up there. So Reid was just able just to shield it out a little bit. Semedo ended up kicking it for a throw-in.
Robinson's throw down the line. Mitrovic giving it back to Anthony Robertson, who's just about kept it in. Reid well played into Loftus-Cheek. Now for Lamina. Tries to switch the play for Ola Aina, who will look to try and hit a diagonal ball up towards Mitrovic. Semedo heads to the edge of the box. Then Dendoncker for Neto to Neves, who looked to get Podence away early. Intercepted by Congolo. Aït-Nouri heading over the halfway line, but it's won in the air by Kim Anderson. And it's a fast-paced start to the game.
It is. It's lively, isn't it? So like both teams are having a go for it. So giving away possession quite easily as well. So like both teams just got to get the foot on the ball a little bit. So like, it's good to see the tempo. But we've just got to try and get that control.
Semedo bounces off the challenge of Decordova-Reid. Wide to the right-hand side for Podence. Back infield to Semedo, who tried a low cross into the near post, but William Jose was waiting for one lifted higher to the far post. Fulham collect the ball. Robinson backwards. It'll be dinked up towards Mitrovic, who didn't quite get control. Cody lets it go out of play. Should say, by the way, that as is the way at an old stadium like Craven Cottage, there is a giant pillar in the middle blocking part of our view.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be leaning a couple of times, I think, so just to make sure we see it.
Blocking a slightly different part of the pitch for Tomo, who's a couple of seats away to my left-hand side. Pretty much, if it's in the centre circle, I can't quite see.
Yeah, I can see the centre circle. I'm okay. With a diagonal line right across the pitch going into their half at the moment.
Here's Dendoncker over the halfway line. Now it's the right-hand touchline to Podence. Podence showing a bit too much of it to Anthony Robinson, who stole it away from him, flicked infield to Mitrovic. Podence couldn't quite win it back initially and then ends up poking the ball out of play for a Fulham throw.
Yeah, that's what we're just talking about. So they just need to get a little bit of control of the ball. So it just seems like a hot potato at the minute coming off him, Podence. I think he was caught in two minds a little bit with it as well.
Heard from Sam Ricketts before the game, but never got a chance to get your view on him. Podence, we know he can create, but it maybe just needs to be a little bit more careful and make sure he doesn't lose possession too easily.
Yeah, look, so we want him to take risks in the right area. So, but like sometimes he's got to just make sure that he retains possession of the ball for me. So, and don't put it at risk where it's going to end up hurting us. So, look, great in that top third, but for me, I think that he's got to do a lot better when he does get the opportunity.
Well, he might be able to get onto the end of the ball here, although Congolo got across to him, let it run across his body from a loose Fulham pass, and Terence Congolo reacted sharply. Kim Anderson in possession. Fulham seeing plenty of the ball in the opening 10 minutes. Still goalless at Craven Cottage, though. Anthony Robertson just about holds onto his footing, having got on the end of a long pass, and Semedo got a foot in on it. Neto will turn and launch it up towards William Jose. It was won in the air by Aina, but it'll drop to Daniel Podence on the Wolves' right. Needs some support to arrive, and he just let Congolo get a foot to the ball there, and it just seemed to stop playing Podence when he didn't see any support coming.
Well, so look, that's where we need him to do something with it. That's twice down this right-hand side for Wolves, where he's had the ball a couple of times, just give it out. He's got that little bit of doubt in what he's going to do with the ball. Sometimes you just got to try and play it into that midfield area, or even William. So I'd say just stuck for thought there, I think.
Long diagonal ball that goes over the top of Semedo and Decordova-Reid. He's got a little bit of history with the Wolves as well. You might remember him scoring for Bristol City.
Yeah, I did.
In that famous Ryan Bennett game. There's Romain Saiz, a couple of yards outside the Wolves penalty area. Back in field to Cody. Back to Saiz again. Mitrovic trying to close him down. It'll go wide to Aït-Nouri. Trying to find the feet of William Jose, but Aina sending it forward again. And Mitrovic trying to cut in field, but with positioning by Dendoncker.
That's where that quality's got to be better up to the front line as well.
There's Neto on the right-hand side. Semedo's run past him on the overlap. Neto cutting in field. Handing Neves to Dendoncker, or leave it for Neves to take over. His white boots, plays it out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Back in field to Neves. Comes to Romain Saiz, who's one of a couple of Wolves players with short sleeves but gloves on tonight. It's it back from Aït-Nouri on halfway. Into the centre circle to Dendoncker. That's the right-hand side to Semedo.
That's where I would like Semedo. You just watched him there. There's a hesitation when the ball's coming to him. The space in front of him, just attack it. Just get it out of his feet. It's like his first decision is just to come back or inside. So sometimes just open your legs up, push the Fulham back. Just get out of it. So like you've seen that a couple of times from him.
Saiz out to the right-hand side for Semedo. A couple of yards over halfway. Infield to Dendoncker. Across the centre circle for Saiz again. Looking towards the Wolves' left this time. Now looking downfield. Not a lot on. So he goes back in field to Dendoncker. He'll switch it low out to the feet of Semedo. Wider for Podence. Back into the right and half for Connor Cody. Wolves trying to be patient here and move Fulham from side to side and find an opening.
Oh, I'd say Fulham has sacrificed that.
Here comes Semedo on the charge, and this time he looked to be wiped out by Anthony Robinson.
Well, there's an example of what we're talking about. Get it out of his feet, attack Fulham with pace and speed, and say all of a sudden then it's going to get the Fulham thinking about what they need to do. And you've got a challenge there for a free kick. But just that hesitation that he's done a couple of times already in this game, I'd like to see him just get it out of his feet.
Neto has placed the ball with intent here. It's a couple of yards or so to the right-hand side of the penalty area as you look towards goal. There's a two-man wall trying to block the route to the near post. William Jose, Saiz, Dendoncker and Cody all in amongst it. Neves far side of the penalty area. Neto lifts it over the top of everybody and behind for a goal kick.
Well, I think he's just signalling for Neves just to be coming around the back post there. And he's holding his arms out and he's saying to Neves, what are you doing?
Don't think if he'd made the run, I don't think he would have reached that.
No, I don't think so either. I think it was miles too high for him. But again, it's a good opportunity there for him to put it in with pace, isn't there? Just put it into an area. I think it's always difficult when you hang it up to the back post, especially on that, with the angle that he had. So just put it in there with pace. You've got the ability to do it.
Yeah, from that kind of angle, a more whipped delivery causes more problems.
Well, especially I say how close they are to the goalkeeper and their goal. So look, if you put pace on it and they're retreating back to their own goal, it's difficult to defend.
Set pieces haven't been entirely fruitful for Wolves this season as Fulham lift the ball into the penalty area and Decordova-Reid challenging, but Semedo did well. Managed to get his head to it. Dendoncker clears as far as Neto. Back for Semedo. It's just a long, straight ball that allowed Fulham to get in on the outside. Neto being held by Robinson wins a free kick right down in front of us.
Yeah, and again, that's where you've got to be careful as a fullback. If you're playing, especially as a four at the back, you've got to make sure that you can see your winger all the time. You can get away with it a little bit with three at the back, but if you're playing a four, it's your responsibility. You've got to make sure that he doesn't get that ball in there. He's just able to just get his foot round it and put it into a dangerous area against Wolves.
If you're watching on telly, there we are in the front row. Just a little wave. There's Connor Cody.
Mike,
Fulham nil.
Mike TV.
Wolves nil. Yeah, I'm on TV.
Yeah, Mike's on TV.
Semedo.
Oh.
Loose pass, really. There was in the general direction of Pedro Neto, but not really with any intent. And Loftus-Cheek to the right-hand side for Tete. It's been closed down by Aït-Nouri, and the ball, well, it looked like it had come off the Wolves man, but it's given us a...
Yeah, he fell over, I think.
Throw.
Tete, he fell over and ended up taking it out of play. I don't think there's any contact from Aït-Nouri.
So quarter of an hour played. It's still goalless. Can, as ever, have your say. David Roll is listening to the match whilst also mowing his yard, aka the swamp, before another round of spring thunderstorms out in Missouri in the US. There's Pedro Neto down the right-hand side for Wolves, looking to go on the outside of Robinson, who just stepped across and used his body, really, and saw it behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, again, so look, it's the right thing to do. But I say, I don't think he looked that confident going on his right foot, was he? A little bit of a hesitation there. Just made it a little bit easy.
Rob Knight enjoyed seeing Kevin McDonald on our pre-game show.
He looks well, doesn't he? He looked well.
Rob says he's giving up on predictions after Monday. Come on, you Wolves. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. If you want to get in touch on social media, you can join the chat on the official Wolves YouTube channel right now. So Anthony Robinson brings the ball down. Semedo challenged him and then went down, but gets back to his feet as the ball goes infield to Lamina. He's a 1-2 with Loftus-Cheek, and now out to the right-hand side.
Well, Semedo needs to be careful here.
Tete's cross, flashing through the penalty area. Mitrovic was behind Semedo, and I'm not sure he knew he was there.
No, he didn't. And also as well, you got Robinson coming there who was spare as well. So I think that Neto's either got to get involved in it, or one of the midfield lads. But definitely somebody from the back's got to be shouting. Robinson was clear at the back post.
Example of those overloads that Fulham might be looking to take advantage of.
Well, a couple of times now, isn't this? So look, Anderson's hit those diagonal balls. So we haven't got our two wide men into the game at all at the moment, have we? 17 minutes gone.
Eckham, Fulham again. They're going to get a throw about 10 yards inside the Wolves' half.
Well, they're starting to build up a little bit, Fulham now, where we had a lot of possession early on. All of a sudden now, they're starting to have a little bit more possession. We've given it away a couple of times. But I'd just like, can we get it into our front and can we get it to our wide men to actually commit Fulham into actually going back? At the minute, everything's been in front of it. And there's the first one we've gone.
Oh, here's Neto trying to run in behind Congolo. He's drawn him wide, back onto his left foot on the Wolves' right. He had Pedence running on the overlap. He crosses himself, and again, it's deep. And evading Adama Traore and William Jose.
It was a great run from Neto, but again, it's that final bit, isn't it, again? Overhit it. He did exactly the same with the free kick. Same side where he was. You've only got William in there. Needs some other options for me. So Dendon could come a little bit later. You can see the frustration on Neto's face. Not happy at all.
Just wonder whether the better option was just to slide Pedence in as he ran on the overlap. More mistake here by Reed. Pedro Neto has lost possession though, and Pedence couldn't recover it on the edge of the Fulham penalty area.
Got to be sharper. Got to be sharper on it.
Mitrovic and Cody battling with each other, and Fulham get the free kick on the edge of the centre circle.
I think it's half and half there for me. Both doing it.
Well, from our angle, which is obviously the opposite side to the TV camera, and you can see it on the replays on TV now, where Mitrovic has got a grip of Cody's shorts, but behind him, so Jonathan Moss can't see it.
Yeah, I thought they're both at it for me. He's just conned the referee a little bit there, hasn't he?
Part of our conversation about the dark arts a little bit earlier on.
There you go. Blind side of the referee.
Harrison Reed to launch the ball into the penalty area. Wolves trying to get the flags up, and it's gone over the top of everybody anyway. And through for a goal kick. We've played just shy of 20 minutes at Craven Cottage. Not a great deal of goal opportunities for either side to report.
No, there isn't. So there hasn't. So a lot of players been in this central position. But just for me, we just need to be a little bit sharper up front. We've had a couple of opportunities where we've broke away. Neto being the one as well, a couple of times. Just have a go.
It's going to come back towards the Wolves' goal now. Loftus-Cheek carrying it forwards, turning back in field away from Neves. Mitrovic and support behind him from Lamina to Reed. So from Congolo, infield to Lamina, who was linked quite strongly. You might remember a season or so ago, coming to Wolves from Southampton. There's Robinson, low cross into the danger zone, well cleared away by Cody. He's had to get back to his feet as Pedence played a pass that he probably didn't want. It goes over the top of William Jose, and Aina got there ahead of Traore. Traore and Neto just not really in the game at the moment, and Neves with a loose pass for Semedo. That's going to be a Fulham throw.
Yeah, and that just typifies this first 20 minutes for me. So like, we've had opportunities just to get ourselves out of it. And it's just that little bit of care with the passing, just breaking down. It's just a simple pass from there. And Neves, of all people, somebody you think technically is very good, just giving away that little bit of possession to Fulham.
0-0 with 21 minutes played at Craven Cottage.
Well, we haven't got Traore into the game at all, have we?
Long ball into the Wolves penalty area. Semedo heads it outside the box. De Cordova-Reid brings it down. He's got Robinson trying to run in behind. Semedo wanted it to go out of play, and it was never going to have enough power on it. He had to deal with it and just kicked it out for a throw.
Well, I think he's got to deal with that quicker. So look, that's never going to go out of place. Robinson closing him down quickly as well.
Robinson to De Cordova-Reid. Back to the American. De Cordova-Reid showed too much of it to Neto, who finds the feet of William Jose, who was being held there by Lamina. Wolves get a free kick and a chance to move upfield. 50-50 in terms of possession so far.
Doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Neither teams, as you said there, threaten the goal. Been a lot of possession in that middle third. But just need to be a bit brighter. Move the ball a little bit quicker for me.
Lifted forwards down the left-hand side for Traore. He's got two with him out by the corner flag, and looking back now, trying to turn back onto his left foot. Cross took a deflection and goes behind for first Wolves corner of the game.
Well, we've seen two instances in this first half where we've put the ball down the side or over the top, and we've looked good on it. We're having runners, but again, I know it's got blocked, but at least you're actually turning and pushing Fulham back. Just got to be, again, there's nothing wrong at all putting the ball into the space. And we've said this before about just putting the ball into the space for Neto or Traore.
Will be left-footed from the left-hand side by Ryan Aït-Nouri, lifted into the near post, away by Robinson. Aït-Nouri will let it bounce out of play for a Wolves throw. And coming from that set-piece opportunity. Lentz making a run short. Traore's there, but the ball is thrown further backwards to Neves. Now to Dendoncker, a little bit ahead of the centre circle. Switches it out to the feet of Pedro Neto, who's got Robinson isolated for a moment. Now back infield to Semedo. Wide again to Neto, and Neto trying to use his strength against Robinson.
How is that not a foul?
Neto going down now, and he's trying to talk to the assistant referee on the side closest to him.
Well, I don't understand how that's not a foul. He's definitely fouled him when he's just turned him. It's come in the back of his leg.
Well, he's still down, and Wolves are continuing to play on, and Cody's trying to get a message to Neves to put the ball out of play.
Well, again, I don't understand how that's not a foul. And he's asking that question to the assistant referee. Great little turn on Robinson, and he's come through the back of him.
And Neto very unhappy.
See, that's a foul. How's that not a foul?
Crunched into by Anthony Robinson.
He's got punished for standing on his feet there. That's a foul. Oh.
It's a sore one.
Yeah, he's just got like his knee in the back of his leg, hasn't he?
He's up and okay without the need for any treatment, Pedro Neto, but his frustration, that we've seen plenty of in the opening 24 and a half minutes, is building even higher. They use that frustration now. Fulham will give possession back to Wolves by virtue of Romain Saiss and now Cody just outside their penalty area. Wide for Aït-Nouri and now Romain Saiss. Infield to Connor Cody. Trying to hit a long diagonal towards Daniel Pedence. What a lovely ball by Cody. Pedence attempting to cross early, blocked by Robinson. Wolves throw.
Great ball from Connor Cody, wasn't it? Right on the mark there.
Semedo back to Cody. Now Saiss. Right for 8 Nouri. Back to Saiz. Just inside the Wolves half to the left of the centre circle. Neves has dropped deep to pick up possession. So has Podence. Podence trying to turn away from Reed. Then rather lost possession a bit too easily. Came back to get the ball and then ran down a bit of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. I was going to say, again, that's been the trend for the first 25 minutes, hasn't it?
Then Donker to halfway.
Yeah, just for me, you're looking there with Dendoncker. He needs runners in front of him. Everybody's up against them. You just say, like, Fulham are basically smothering them a little bit.
Saiz trying to hit a long ball in the direction of Traore, and Traore is quick enough to keep it in, and he's ended up winning Wolves a corner here.
There you go. There you go. How many times do we keep saying that? There's nothing wrong with putting the ball into the space. He's never going to catch him. Him or Neto down the either side. And it's a ball that's got him out of trouble. And it's created something. We've got 2 corners off the last 2 down that left-hand side.
8 Nouri again, left-footed from the left-hand side. Saiz and Cody have joined those in the penalty area. It'll be 8 Nouri to try and whip it in, and it's claimed by the goalkeeper. Just inside his 6-yard box.
Got to get somebody in front of the goalkeeper there for me. I always think that you've got to put one of your players on the goalkeeper just to stop him from doing that, coming to collect the ball.
It's a little bit surprising that both of those runners have been out swingers, but they've been effectively collected at the near post. Here's Robinson trying to lift one in towards Loftus-Cheek, who heads goalwards, and it's just wide. Goodness me, what an opportunity that was for Fulham. Best one they've crafted of the game so far with 27 minutes played. Just a bit of a counter-attack, really lifted into the penalty area. And Loftus-Cheek clearly feels like he should have scored.
Well, I think he should. I think he's, again, he didn't get that as much as he wanted on it. But they got that outlet again. The fullback just picking out a diagonal ball. And yeah, he's well up above it, isn't he? Just needed directing. Fortunate for Wolves there. I don't know if Patricio would have had it.
From our angle here on the opposite side, I thought it was in for a minute. Really looked like it was heading towards that far corner.
I thought it was in.
28 minutes gone at Craven Cottage. Wolves just edging ahead in terms of possession, but no doubt that's the best chance of the game so far. It's gone to Fulham.
But we've seen that, especially down this left-hand side, where Anderson's pinging it out, a diagonal ball to Robinson. That time he just had a touch and put it in.
Harrison Reed to take a free kick. Couple of yards in from the right-hand touchline. Less than 10 yards inside the Wolves' half. The Wolves' defensive line ahead of the D outside their penalty area. They will drop back as this gets launched towards their penalty area.
I was going to say, got a spare man at the back here, Kongolo, I think it is.
Yeah, Kongolo putting it back into the danger zone, comes towards the far post, and thankfully the ball bounced towards Cody, who cleared. Back towards Mitrovic. Flagger stayed down for the time being. His looping effort is cleared away by Saiz.
Isn't that a flag not going up?
No, it will be a Fulham throw.
Well, he looked offside to me.
We know how you feel.
I don't like that. I don't like that rule at all. If he's offside, he's offside.
In the meantime, Anderson has possession again. Leave it for Kongolo to Joachim Anderson. Turning and looking towards the Fulham right. Ola Aina. Trying to hit a diagonal ball that Cody can head the ball away. Dendoncker headed it back towards his own goal, and Patricio had to come out sharply.
Well, that seems to be their favourite ball at the minute.
Podence nodding one forwards. Neto's got a problem here, and he's
the back of his leg, but I think it was the challenge from before.
He's signalling to the bench that he needs to be replaced.
That's going to be a big blow, though. Another injury.
Yeah, Wolves can ill afford another player to be out injured. And Pedro Neto is down, and he will get treatment this time.
Well, I think that's come from that challenge from Robinson. I think he just got a knee just below his knee at the back, top of his calf.
I mean, kind of hope that it's nothing too serious.
Well, you're hoping that it's just going to be like a dead leg just at the top of his calf. But
At the moment, doesn't look good for him. Say he immediately almost pulled up and signalled to the bench and said that he wanted to be replaced.
Well, you're hoping that it's an impact injury rather than a pull.
Well, it's even more for Nuno to ponder at the moment. A couple of players go over and get a drink. Ruben Neves and Conor Cody, captain and vice captain, having a discussion on the far side. Can't quite make out who it is that's getting stripped and ready to come on just yet. Maybe Vitinha. Oh no, João Moutinho, I think it is, yeah.
Yes, João Moutinho is just warming up down the touchline.
We talked about in pre-game about the gamble. Would it be a gamble to get him involved tonight?
Well, look, if he's been put on the substitute bench, he must declare himself fit and ready to play. But it's not good.
It's interesting that they've gone with that rather than a Gibbs White or a Vitinha.
Or even Silva.
Yeah, indeed. Could have gone with just the central two up top and changed things around slightly differently.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Saw Willian Jose play on the left and Fabio Silva through the middle on Monday night, so they could have just moved Traore over.
Yeah, well, you can see Neto, he's just walking in front of us here. He's got some kind of strapping just below his left knee. So maybe that might be something that's a problem. It's just aggravated that.
So João Moutinho is on. Pedro Neto walking past us and heading towards the changing facilities with Ollie Leeper, the first team physio, and the Doc Matt Perry alongside him as Neves clears. So a reorganisation for Wolves here. Keep an eye on it as to whether Dendoncker stays in midfield or maybe Wolves might have gone to 5 at the back.
Yeah, they've gone to a 3. Dendoncker seems to be on this right-hand side of the back now.
But they're not gone to 3 up top. I think it's Traore and Willian Jose as a 2 and Pedent still as a 10.
Yeah.
Jose wins Wolves a throw on the left-hand side.
Definitely gone as a 3. Dendoncker's come back.
Thoughts of Sam Ricketts and Chris Iwelumo at half-time on that. There's Dendoncker finding Pedent.
Just got to make sure that the 2 fullbacks now give us some kind of option wide. It's going to be important.
Well, having not seen an awful lot of Neto and Traore in the game, he's clearly decided to change his role, and here is Traore. Ball's going to rebound to Pedent. Moutinho's first touch is to find Neves. Wide to the right-hand side to Semedo. Semedo back in field to Neves, who looks to cross early, but he didn't quite get enough on it.
Yeah, it just needed just a little bit more height on it, didn't it? It's the right direction, but needed a little bit more loft on the cross.
Tinho got injured on international duty. He did play in the first game for Portugal. So did Ruben Neves and Pedro Neto as well. Neves and Neto were involved in the 3rd game of the international break. Rui Patricio stayed home, otherwise there would have been even more Wolves involvement. Nelson Semedo didn't get called up this time. Traore clattering into Congolo and a free kick given Fulham's way.
Yeah, again, Pedent's been caught on the possession of the ball. That's 3 times in this first half. He's just got to sharpen up a little bit. It looks like he's a little bit angry at somebody, but that's 3 times he's got. Well, I'd have to see what the foul is there.
Yeah, I think they both just jump and Congolo.
But he ain't raised a leg. He's basically kicked in with a follow through.
Might be why he's so angry. On the line, looking for Tete was Loftus-Cheek, and they play on because Fulham still have possession. It's played in field towards Mitrovic. Across came Dendoncker and Saiss there, and Wolves have the ball. It's cleared up, but straight to Joachim Andersen. Back out on that right-hand side, Loftus-Cheek chasing. And Tete being blocked off by Aït-Nouri and Saiss lifting it forwards, but Reed pushing a header down to Lamina, and now Joachim Andersen again.
I was going to say, I know we've done okay in keeping the ball at the back and in that middle third, but for me, I think that we've got to be a little bit better in that top. For me, I know it's something that we spoke about before, but we've got to do a lot better.
Yeah, Wolves throw midway inside their own half, and Main Saiz might be getting a talking to. Just a warning for the earlier challenge and Fulham's most recent attacks.
Yeah, so I think he's Mitrovic when so look, he's seen him coming, and you know that he's always going to be somebody who'll stand up for it.
There's Martinho on the turn. Finds Traore, and Traore up against Congolo, and he might just put his head down and strikes it early, but drags his shot a long way across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick.
Oh, that's where he's made the space. He's got away from the first one. He's one-on-one. Just get at him and knock it past him. Oh, I don't understand.
Well, he was all on his own,
Yeah.
Adama Traore.
But I think that just knocking into the space, he's not going to catch you.
He's weaker foot as well.
Yeah. I just think there's opportunity there again. It's a good ball into him.
It's interesting, this change of shape and how that will impact the game now. Of course, it kind of matches up with what Fulham are doing.
And that's why it's so important that those front lads do a job for us. And again, when you get opportunities and like say, Fulham are fighting for their lives down there. So we need a couple of wins probably. Just got to try and take those chances when you get them.
Saiz infield to Cody. 8 minutes to go until half-time. Then Donker getting away from Decord-over-Reed, and there's a good ball up towards Semedo. Infield to Traore, and Traore sets it off down the line again, but Tomo's right. Semedo won't catch it. Fulham throw.
Yeah, again, it's care, isn't it? So look, he keeps breaking down. Just a little bit of care. He was under no real pressure there as well, Traore. Just to roll it in. If anything as well, he could have had a shout to turn.
Fulham throw deep inside their own half. 37.5 minutes played.
I just think this game's here for Wolves if they want it. I think that they've shown some glimpses of what they can do. It's just that quality that they've got to show a little bit better.
I said beforehand, first goal will prove crucial. Wolves have only scored first 7 times this season out of 30 games, and they haven't lost any of those 7.
Well, some record, isn't it?
The only team in the Premier League not to lose when scoring first. It's just they haven't done it very much.
Because that was it. Conceded 20 times, is this the first goal?
First goal in 20 games, and 3 were goalless draws.
There you go.
It's Reed for Fulham. Robinson. Cody got a touch to it. Reed back wide, left to Decord-over-Reed. His cross was blocked off. It'll go just the right side of the corner flag as far as Wolves are concerned.
Can you see for that post? Can you see?
I can see about the corner flag. I couldn't see where Decord-over-Reed was. Anthony Robinson getting set to try and launch a long throw in. Mitrovic at the near post. Go in his direction. Semedo it is who heads it away. Traore couldn't control though. Lamina carrying it out towards the Fulham right. Line towards Tete, who tried to cross it early, and it will go behind for a Fulham corner off the back of Ryan Aït-Nouri.
Yeah. Well, this is their first one. The lads from the back coming up. It's really important there so we don't give Fulham any chances or opportunities.
Everybody back to defend in a maroon shirt. Fulham have got 4 in a line on the edge of the penalty area. Decord-over-Reed trying to make a nuisance of himself in the 6-yard box, and Jonathan Moss has spotted that and wants to go and have a word.
Oh, you know, when I spoke to you about our corners, again, you look at the other teams, they put somebody in there just to be a nuisance. And that's what he's doing in there, Reed.
Aït-Nouri, and interestingly, I think Romain Saiz is having to translate what Jonathan Moss is saying there. Speak a huge amount of English. Ryan Aït-Nouri is learning. Corner comes in right footed from the right-hand side. It was Romain Saïs's head to the edge of the area. Robinson trying to put it back in the danger zone.
Offside.
Nori's header away. Flag has gone up.
That flag does work. I knew it. I knew that flag worked.
So it is that element that helps out, having players who can speak plenty of languages.
Yeah,
Continental game.
It does makes a difference, doesn't it?
Tomo, of course, spoke English and Black Country, which was important to translate if anyone needed to understand bully.
It was, especially when he started speaking fast.
Here's Joachim Andersen. Line for Ola Aina. Lifting a ball forwards that Cody will have time to bring it down. Looking up. His option was only Semedo to his right. Semedo back to Dendoncker. So the switch when Moutinho came on of putting Dendoncker back kind of would lead you to surmise, Tomo, that they would have gone with 5 at the back on Monday had Moutinho been available.
Yeah, well, straight away he's changed the formation, hasn't he? Because he had opportunities to bring somebody on and keep a similar formation, just with a 4 at the back. But with Moutinho coming back in, he's gone with that 3.
I know there are fans who are listening to us that would like to see Wolves play more often with the back 4, but just haven't seen any real sign that that's the intention. And I think what's happened here tonight, certainly with this personnel anyway, suggested that Nuno feels it is much more comfortable. The 5, as well, shows they got the flick on, but it'll be a Fulham throw.
Yeah, I'm just watching that there. I think William thought that it's come off the Fulham lad.
3 minutes until half time. You can have your say. Use the hashtag Wolves Live on social media. Join the live chat on the official Wolves YouTube channel. Semedo trying to put pressure on Robinson, who leaves Semedo on the deck and now looks to try and run towards Dendoncker and lifts a cross in towards Mitrovic, who heads goalwards, but well wide of the right-hand post of Rui Patricio.
Yeah, so he seems to be their main threat, doesn't he? Robinson down this left-hand side. He's got some pace and he's got some decent quality with that left foot. Well, this is something that he's going to have to deal with, Semedo. He's up against him. Each of the wing-backs.
Climbed high, Alexander Mitrovic.
He did.
Over the top of Saïs.
Well, you just thought for a second that he guarded it beyond Patricio because he got up really well. Yeah, but he had it covered, Patricio.
Fulham's best 2 chances have come from Robinson crosses that have gone past either post of Patricio in that Wolves goal. Either side have had an effort on target, yeah. Moutinho. 3-1 by this point on Monday night. There's Lamina. That's the left-hand side to Robinson. Up against Semedo. Semedo's done well, though, to get his left foot in and nip possession back. That's a Neves. Neves caught behind by Decordova-Reid. Semedo got on with it quickly, and I don't think he realised Mitrovic was behind Moutinho.
I was going to say, I don't think he realised, did he? So he's played it inside to him. Pedence
for Saïs. Ball comes to Moutinho. Instead of the centre circle, he's lifted one over the top and through for a goal kick. Bit too straight there.
Yeah, it was. So it was. He tried to get a little bit of loft on it, didn't he? Just to get it into the air, but it's quite flat in the end. Just skidded away.
Nil-nil at Craven Cottage with 30 seconds of the first minute still to go.
So it's a lot of the players been in this midfield area, hasn't it?
Carl Shepherd wants Andy Thompson on at half time. Sure the injury troubles have got that more difficult.
Yeah, they're not desperate. Right. They're not that desperate yet.
No.
What do you mean? No.
Semedo.
He's doing well there.
Trying to nod it round Robinson, but Robinson's strong enough.
Well done. Did well in the end, Semedo.
2 minutes being added on. Neves with the ball. Backwards to Cody inside the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side to Nori. Trying to lift it in early. Away by Aina. Comes to Matinho. Sitting up midway inside the half. He was a long way out. And I don't think he's ever intended to shoot.
No, he thought for a second he had a thought there, though, didn't he? He looked like he had a thought about it. I know he scored some wonder goals for us, but I thought that was probably a little bit too far for him.
He hasn't scored them very often. That's the point.
No, yeah. Well, he must be due one again, hasn't he?
Semedo on down the right-hand side to Pedence, just inside the penalty area. Lifts across it. Oh, what a powerful header! And William Jose is up and running for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Finally, the Brazilians' moment arose at Craven Cottage. Lovely little cross by Daniel Pedence, and William Jose across his man at the near post. Powers home. It's Fulham 0, Wolves 1.
Oh, we talk about quality in that final third, and I think that's probably the first time they've shown it. Great little ball from Pedence, a great run from William. And we talk about putting this into the right area, allowing him to come onto it, and he's just seen it there. So Semedo there, just a little ball for Pedence. We picked him out. He's got the quality, but it's all about his movement, isn't it? All about Williams' movement, just getting in front of the defender. You can't see him coming. Yeah, it's a good goal. Good goal for Wolves. But that's what it's all about. It's about having that quality. Oh, yeah, it's a great finish. And you can see how happy he is about scoring it. Oh, pleased for him.
The wait is over on his 12th appearance. Oh, now VAR is looking at Daniel Pedence, and it's the arms that they are checking. And this will be ridiculous if they rule this out now.
I think the left arm, I think he's playing him on, isn't it?
They're going to go for the elbow. They're drawing the lines across the field of play.
No chance.
All eyes on Jonathan Moss here. They can't rule that out.
No.
Cannot rule that out. Jonathan Moss is... No, it's going to be ruled out. Oh, goodness me. That's unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
That is unbelievable.
No chance. No chance. I'm looking... Oh, dear.
Oh, William.
I feel sorry for him, but that's ridiculous for me. How can they give that off? Pedence is offside. What his elbow is?
It's the hair on his elbow.
He can't score with his elbow.
That they've given offside. That is ridiculous decision.
Ridiculous. He can't score with his elbow.
Unbelievable. Wolves, we talk about the lack of a love affair with VAR. It's for exactly that type of reason. And I've defended VAR for many, many times. But they shouldn't be ruling out goals like that.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They're ruining the game for me. How can that? He's got it. I'll say you can see the Wolves players and the frustration, what they've got.
Well,
his elbow.
Nuno is coming across the pitch. Dendoncker, Cody, Neves are all around Jonathan Moss here, and they're asking the question, and Neves, because they showed it on the big screen, the freeze frame.
Well, Nuno's going to ask the question as well.
Nuno chatting with Jonathan Moss now.
Well, he's just saying it's VAR by the look of it.
Well, Jonathan Moss obviously doesn't know. He hasn't seen it. But, when they're drawing the lines, it is a hair's breadth that they are deciding. Rui Barbosa, the Wolves goalkeeping coach, Rui Pedro Silva, the assistant first-team coach, are all around the referee now as well, and they're being told to move away. But the sense of injustice will really rage on here for so many people, not least William Jose, who should have had his first Wolves goal. It's the best bit of play of the entire game, and it's been ruled out because a millimetre is offside to deny him.
Well, I've said to you, if you've got to draw a line on the pitch to find out whether or not somebody's offside, then I don't see the point in doing it. But it's his elbow that's offside. Can't score with his elbow.
Well, do you know, because they take the line from the shirt line, right?
Yeah.
So they're going from there. Now...
But the bloke's hand, if he's going from that, the defender's hand is further back than his elbow. So surely that must be playing him onside. No?
Well, the argument, I guess, is that he can't score You can't score with your hand,
Well,
so you can't be offside from the hand.
So if they have an opportunity then, and he hits it in with his elbow for a goal, is that a goal?
No, because the elbow is below the shirt line.
But it's his elbow that they've given him offside.
They take the line. Well, again, and we will hopefully see a better freeze frame of it at half time on our screens here.
It's ridiculous.
But from the view that we've seen, when they started drawing the lines, and initially when they drew the line, it was onside from the pictures we saw in the press box here at Craven Cottage. It was initially onside, and they have redrawn the lines, and he's given us offside.
Because I'll tell you what as well, who decides when the ball is actually played? You don't see the ball played. He's standing in a position. When does the ball actually leave the whole of his foot for the pass? That's the thing for me as well. You can't tell me you can pick that right. And again, my argument is if you've got to draw a line on there, he can't be offside.
And you know what? And the final point, because we'll go to a break and then we'll get Sam Ricketts and Chris Iwelumo's view as well. I would be exactly the same if it was the other end.
Yeah.
You cannot rule goals out for that fine a margin.
No.
It
should have shaved his arms. That's all you can think about now, isn't it?
Well, are you expected to run with your arms tucked into your body there? Because there is nothing that is ahead of him.
I just don't think so. If he scores a goal, if all their team scores a goal with his elbow, with that thing that's off, would the referee give a handball? He would. So you can't tell me that he can't score with his elbow.
Right. We'll take a very quick break and then we'll get Sam Ricketts and Chris Iwelumo on. Me and Tom are going to calm down for a second. Don't go anywhere. This is Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So a real sense of injustice here at half-time at Craven Cottage. It is Fulham 0, Wolves 0. We've got to go straight to
one is what it is.
You've heard our rant for the last couple of minutes, Sam Ricketts. What's your view?
There's a goal. I'll argue till I'm blue in the face, that's onside. I don't agree. I don't understand, and I don't trust the lines when they come across. There's a slightly different one which I saw on the TV. Paul's been up to it. I don't trust the lines. They start going off. He's onside. There's no. I'd love someone to sit me down and explain it. I must be missing something. I must be missing. I don't know what I'm missing. I'm missing something because they've not given a goal, and I don't understand it.
So what it is it's the sleeve. So you know the sleeve. So say I just done that as a defender, and your sleeve's down here. That's as simple as it is. It's embarrassing.
Is that the rule? You go off the sleeve.
You're going off the sleeve now. You're going off the sleeve now, Sam.
Yeah, but what if you're wearing long sleeves?
It goes off the sleeve of the shirt. Oh, well, yeah. I couldn't tell you then. Bizarre enough. It's an absolute shambles. You know what? We spoke about it before the match. You know, Willie and Jose, you know what you say, 12 games. What a fantastic header. Great movement as well. Fantastic balling from Podence. And you know what? It's a very tight game. It is a very tight game. The last game, Pedro Neto was the difference. He went off. I never knew he was so badly taped up on one of his knees. Yeah. You know, really. So hopefully that's nothing serious, because from what the challenge looked like, it was the knee that wasn't strapped up, and it was a standing foot. But let's talk about that. I know for a fact the referees went in and looked at the screen and thought, I can't believe Stockley Park's put me in this position. Because if he had went to the screen, he's allowing the goal. That's too close to call. And you know what? Tom was right. As soon as they start drawing lines on it and look at that hundredth of a millimetre, embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know what? And it's not as if it's a Sunday league game. It's a game worth hundreds of millions of pounds. That's what it all comes down to. It's embarrassing. I'm absolutely disgusted watching it.
I can't believe it. I'm here watching it, and I've watched the replay, and I'm still trying to figure out.
And that's the point, because I just said to Tomo boys, like, we wouldn't have been as vociferous of it if it was at the other end, but I don't want to see goals like that being ruled out, because if you look at it, if it's a leg, and this is part of my argument on this element of it, at no point does he get any advantage by a millimetre of his arm being slightly ahead. It's got to come down surely at some point to what advantage are you gaining? Because the whole point of offside is it's to stop people from gaining an advantage, Looms. There is no advantage to a millimetre of your arm being over.
Because I've said, Looms, as well, can he score with his arm? Because I tell you what, I bet he would blow it up if he hit it with his arm.
They're saying now if it's the sleeve, you can score. That's the whole point, isn't it? So that's not a handball. Anything before the sleeve's a handball. But when it comes to feet, if your foot is a centimetre offside, you're offside. You know, it's black and white, isn't it? But that I'm afraid.
Yeah, if you've got to draw a line on the screen to tell it someone's offside.
You're spot on. And I know they've got to look at it, but you know what? Let's put it this way: if they looked at it, they put the line on, and they says it's onside, no one argues with that.
No.
That's how wrong that decision is.
Well, when they were doing it initially, and I was looking at it going, well, they've drawn the lines initially, and I think Sam mentioned it. You're watching the coverage, and when they initially do it, you're like, oh, it's going to be just on. They're going to give this, and then all of a sudden, it's like, no, they've moved that line and taken it from the other end.
Well, wait a minute, then.
I can get a line which goes along the floor, like they put it on the defender, but then from the defender, assume like a perpendicular, like a blue line comes up. Well, it starts angling this way now, so it gets Pedance offside. Whereas really, you could, because the camera's bang on it for once, the camera's on where you're at. He's onside. I don't.
Well, who judges when it's actually left the whole of his foot as well?
That's what you said, Tom, and that's what's spot on. So you think about the pressure that's in a ball when the foot kicks the ball, the indentation, but then when it leaves, who says when it first leaves the foot? Yeah. That's what we're getting down to. So it's embarrassing. For that decision to be made is embarrassing.
The issue with that is that it's a functionality really of the TV camera that cannot pick up the entire moment. So you are basically relying on which frame of the TV picture they have taken. There is no TV camera that can give you the entire exact frame of moment.
I'm watching it again.
TV cameras.
These lines are on here again.
So we're on our screens right now. I don't know whether you're seeing this at home. We're seeing them replaying the process of drawing the lines and where they draw the lines from as they're going along to do it. And you look at it, boys, and this is what will annoy a lot of people as well. Look at where Congolo's leg is as opposed to Daniel Pedence.
What about his knee?
And that's my point about there is no advantage to his arm being like that. Anyway, give credit to Willie and Jose, by the way, because it was a great headed finish. He's got to now take that on at Looms and go, well, I should have had one. Now I'm going to go and make sure.
I'll tell you something now. He'll be absolutely devastated. And this is where it talks about the characters that you've got around him. You know, all the boys and Tomo, Sam, they'll walk in thinking, you know what, and it's hard to not feel hard done to. You understand? But hopefully that'll inspire. That'll get a reaction. Say, you know what, boys, we don't feel sorry for ourselves. We go out because it's such a tight game, isn't it? So it's so important that they react to that, because the referees, the officials have absolutely robbed us there. Because like you say, what did I say before the match? The first goal is so important. Yeah. The perfect time to score as well, isn't it? They can't even reply. You come in, you get yourself together again, and you go out there. And we start the second half well. We just cannot. We have to make sure that we cannot feel sorry for ourselves. And it's so difficult, isn't it? I know him. He's not scored in 12 games now. He's sitting there thinking, you know what? That feeling of thinking, I finally opened my account, to be taken away. It's wrong anyway, the VAR thing, because players can't properly celebrate when they score a goal. They have to kind of wait to see what phase, the second phase, third phase, whatever. It's embarrassing. I'm absolutely devastated.
Well, my thing was, I thought they was trying to make the game more exciting, and I thought they was going to give the advantage to the strikers or the attacking team. Clearly they're not, because at the end of the day, Sally, it's come down to whatever distance, it probably wasn't even a millimetre.
Well, let me tell you this, right? If that's going to happen, right, the referee has to get involved if it's as tight as that. And it's left to the referee, the officials. It has to be transparent with us, so we're all sitting watching it. We know what the Stockley Park's saying. You know what? This is a tight one. Referee, come and watch it. It has to be transparent. We're sitting thinking, what's going on? What's going on? That's how they make it exciting. So we can actually hear what their dialogue is.
Like NFL, they talk you through it, don't they?
Exactly. A bit, yeah. And I think that's because if we're sitting here and Stockley Park saying, look, we've got to look at it, look is shut, and they might say what Mikey's saying, right, you know what, it's 100th of a millimetre, there's no advantage there. Ref, this is your call. You know, and that's the only way to justify it, because it makes no sense.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you know, in terms of cricket sometimes where it comes down to umpire's call, the assistant referee is looking directly at it and he doesn't put the flag up for them to then go, you know. So sometimes flag might go up afterwards, which is a suggestion, and then they check it and they work out. From the officials on the pitch, they thought that was a goal. Everybody thought that was a goal.
Yeah.
Very quickly, because the teams are back out. Sam, we've switched formation in that half. Pedro Neto going off. What are they going to do differently second half?
Probably a little bit more of the same. A great cross in for the goal. Ultimately, and going back to Looms here, they got two doors and come out of the second half. One, where they can be told, lads, it was onside. They can either sit down, sulk, throw their arms around and feel sorry for themselves, or go, actually, lads, come on, galvanise us, keep going, keep doing the same. I like the energy. I like the legs up front. We've moved the ball pretty well. Just got to get Traore into the game a little bit more, possibly, because he does have the beating of anyone in the attacking third.
Okay, Chris Iwelumo, Sam Ricketts, thank you very much for the time being. More from the boys after the final whistle. Hopefully, Wolves can use this sense of injustice to go and win this game in the second half. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So we are just about ready to get going for the second period here at Craven Cottage. It is 0-0. It should be 1-0 Wolves. And we're underway for the second period. Wolves playing from right to left as we look at it second half, attacking the end, which would normally be filled with Wolves supporters. Then Donker out to Ruben Neves on the right-hand side, lifted forwards towards Traore. We'll talk about the Pedro Neto incident, by the way, and the injury there, because I know there's some suggestion from our friend and colleague, Jackie Oatley, that he might have picked up a similar injury on international duty with Portugal.
Well, he had it strapped up to him just below his knee. So, possibility there.
Nori infield to Podence. Lost possession, but it comes back to Neves, just out of the centre circle, trying to dink it towards Podence, and he'll go all the way through to Ariola in the Fulham goal. They have a back three of Aina, Anderson and Congolo, Tete and Robinson, the wing-backs. Reed and Lamina holding in midfield. Loftus-Cheek, deckled over Reed, supporting Mitrovic up top. Wolves now with Patricio in goal. back three of Dendoncker, Cody and Saiz, Semedo and Aït-Nouri, the wing backs. Moutinho having come on in the first half for Neto, and Neves in midfield. Pedence playing behind Traore and Willian Jose.
Well, just looking at the Wolves defenders again, they held a decent line and they're looking across to the assistant referee for what they thought was an offside.
Oh, we talk about marginal offside. You go back to Anfield and that Pedro Neto goal that was ruled out because Johnny's toe was offside. Mitrovic losing possession on the edge of the Wolves box and cleared downfield, and Willian Jose giving chase. Aina clearing. Aït-Nouri having to turn with Kenny Tete at his back, and that's a clear foul, but they play on, and Tete crossing the ball in field, and then it looked like Cody was taken out by Mitrovic, who'd slipped.
I'm arguing the wrong end of the stick here. So look, pushing the back is not a foul now, is it?
Dendoncker, who was fouled. Cody is asking that question to the assistant referee.
I don't.
Mitrovic just taking out Dendoncker as the ball came in.
He's just slipped over, hasn't he, Mitrovic?
Yeah, Tete looked like a clear, just shove on it.
Well, he had both hands on his back.
Well, sense of injustice rages on. And it will rage and rage.
Yep.
Semedo putting it downfield. Traore eventually giving chase. Congolo's clearance. That'll be a Wolves throw. A lot of messages that are coming in at the moment. You can probably understand why I can't read them out. They are using slightly fruity language.
What they're saying, that was a goal. Is that what they're saying?
No. They are saying slightly fruity language towards VAR. But thank you for your messages that you are sending in at the moment anyway. Long ball forwards. Pedence might be able to get onto the end of a loose touch there by Robinson, getting his cross in, headed away by Joachim Andersen. Ball's going to drop to Traore on the Wolves' right, trying to skip away from a couple of challenges, and in the end, the ball ran away from him and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Pedence just run down there. I don't know what's happened to him, whether he was caught or he's just... But we've just got to try and get Traore into the game a lot more for me. So Pedence has started to come into the game a little bit more. So putting that cross in, well, the goal was ruled off, but just watching it again.
Maybe a little bit of an arm in there.
Yeah, it's not much.
David Coote is the VAR, by the way. He was also the VAR for the game against West Ham on Monday. Well, of course, he did a challenge on Adama Traore and chose not to give it. He was also, by the way, Tomo, you might be interested to know this, the VAR for the West Brom home game, where he gave West Brom a penalty that wasn't in the penalty area and then didn't give Wolves a penalty for when Kieran Gibbs palmed the ball down. Not that we're bitter.
No, but I'd just like to... I know the game's about opinions, but like, I still think that it's just taking that away from the officials now. We're going to come to the point where we're not going to have officials. We're just going to have a computer telling us if it's a foul, offside, or whatever else.
Here's Pedence. That was a lovely flick by Traore. Pedence down the right-hand side. He's going to try and play it. Oh, it was aiming towards Willian Jose, but an easy interception for Ola Aina. Traore had made a great run on the outside of him. That was probably the better option. Aït-Nouri in field. In general, I don't have an issue with VAR. I just think it's the implementation of it. If your issue has been with the standard of officials, why are you putting those same officials in charge of the technology?
And as I said to you, it still comes down to somebody's opinion. His opinion, was not a goal. And I don't think it's right with it as well. So at the end of the day, it's like, if you've got an opinion, you might as well just leave it with the referee on the pitch for me. He should have the overall say, and clearly he's not got that say anymore.
There's Moutinho for Neves to his right-hand side, back into his own half to Dendoncker.
Anyway, let's just focus on the game now.
I don't think we can until we're leading in this one. Because if Wolves don't go on to win this game,
I know
it will be the strongest talking point going. Saiz, Pedence just jumped over the ball.
I'm not surprised. He had two Fulham lads bearing down straight on him. If he had a touch on it, I think he was getting booted in the air, I think. And I think he was making that signal to Saiz as well, Pedence.
Harrison Reed finding the Cordova Reed. Back to Joachim Andersen, trying to hit a long diagonal towards the run of Anthony Robinson. And a bounce out of play for a Wolves throw, though.
Yeah, you just want Wolves just to step up now. So look, again, I know we've had the goal disallowed, but just to step up and just take advantage of actually a little bit of possessions, because they've done all right with possession. Just again, they haven't really created that much. So you feel sorry for William that he can have that goal marked off, and he's still waiting for that first goal.
It's a really lovely, well-worked goal as well.
It was the movement. So he's just come on the shoulders of the defender, and he's just got ahead of him. It's a good header, great ball into a great area.
Classic centre-forward goal.
It is, and it's just a shame that he's going to have it cancelled off now.
It's deckled over Reed to Joachim Andersen. Might just give him a little bit of a confidence boost, though. Nevertheless, got that moment, having seen the ball hit the back of the net. It's a different feeling, isn't it, than having it in training?
Oh, yeah. There's nothing better than scoring in a game.
Robinson, infield to Harrison Reed, 30 yards from the Wolves' goal. Back wide to Robinson, lifted into the edge of the box. Cody clears it up towards Traore. Ball drops down here to Neves, and Neves was crunched in too late by Congolo, but they play on, and Neves has stayed down on his back. Officials have let an awful lot go tonight.
Well, they're not kicking the ball out.
No, Fulham are intent on playing on. Neves has got to his knees and now onto his feet. Ola Aina, just over halfway.
Well, we'll see what happens then. So look, we'll see then if this happens and something happens to a Fulham player, whether or not they moaning about a decision, because it's an unwritten rule, isn't it, that you kick the ball out.
Neves back down on his haunches.
It was a crunching tackle.
Congolo and Neves. Neves struggling a little bit. Already lost Pedro Neto, with João Moutinho just come off the bench, working his way back after an injury on international duty. Wolves can ill afford another one. Have to go back to 4 at the back for a start. Donker back to Patricio, put his foot through it. He'll go high to the halfway line. Traore jumped highest. The ball drops to Robinson, though.
We can't get him in the game, can we, Traore? He just seems to be battling for everything that comes towards him.
Robinson being shown backwards by Neves, who looks to be okay. Congolo under pressure from Traore, back to Areola. Low across to Ola Aina. Now Loftus-Cheek popping up on the right-hand side. An early ball looking towards Mitrovic. Dendoncker wins it in the air. Neves turns and passes it straight to Lamina. Lamina carrying it out to the left-hand side. Robinson back in field to Harrison Reed. Mitrovic, foot in by Moutinho. It's going to come to Traore, and Traore with Harrison Reed trying to hold him up, and Traore needed a sliding challenge from Congolo. Traore's unhappy because Harrison Reed was all over him when he was trying to set off.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that you're thinking about. That's a foul, that's a foul. So there's 2 I've seen already. We just saw the one on Aitanuri in this half. We had the one on Neto where he's done the turn and he's got injured. Thought that was a foul on him. And I say you're just looking on that as well. Harrison Reed's hanging off his back.
There's Aina over halfway for Fulham. Right side of the defensive 3, blocked by William Jose. It goes back to Joachim Andersen. Runs it across the centre circle and plays it to Congolo. Wide to the left-hand side. Deckled over Reed and dropped deep, trying to thread it through for the run of Loftus-Cheek. Saiss across and in front of him and playing it backwards to Patricio, who found himself in an awkward position, but Saiss has helped him out. Wolves managed to get it clear. Neves looking towards the left, up towards left-hand side of the centre circle. Now finding Aït-Nouri. Early in towards the feet of William Jose. Needs some support. 2 players at his back. Finds Neves. Neves trying to hit a diagonal ball towards Traore, just a little bit overhit. Traore is quick, but not quite quick enough.
Yeah, it was always just going away from him, wasn't it, Traore? Good spot from Neves. But a little bit better there, just keeping possession of the ball.
0-0 with 56 minutes played. In terms of the stats in the second half, Wolves are having 67% possession, but neither side have had a shot in anger. Maina backwards to Anderson. Off a Congolo. Infield to Joachim Anderson. Trying to lift it towards Loftus-Cheek on halfway, a couple of yards in from the right-hand touchline. Backwards again to Anderson. Now trying to hit a long diagonal in behind Semedo that Robinson trying to get onto. Semedo got a touch to it. Ball comes backwards to Decordova-Reid, and Matinho was well placed to get a foot to the ball. Harrison Reed, though, finding Lamina. Lamina crossing from deep towards the far post, and Aït-Nouri lets it go all the way through for a goal kick.
Yeah, good defending. Teto just coming in behind Aït-Nouri there, just shielded him, blocked his run a little bit. But just need to be careful that they don't leave themselves open.
Traore trying to head the ball in field, but it went straight to Harrison Reed. Loftus-Cheek turning and carrying it further forwards, and it's up towards Lamina. Now Decordova-Reid being forced away from the Wolves goal. Robinson on the left-hand side, first time cross, little flick on. It'll come through towards Mitrovic, and I think that was Cody who was well positioned, just about got it clear. Fulham are growing in confidence in the last couple of minutes. Decordova-Reid fouled by Dendoncker, and a chance for the home side to lift it in the box.
Well, that's a concern, isn't it? They are growing in confidence, starting to have a little bit of a spell now.
Decordova-Reid just trying to spin, just caught by Dendoncker. Had a little bit of a grip on his arm as well.
Oh, I'm just having a look there to say, look, I know there was contact on it, but there's been a couple of challenges this tonight. They're not been a foul.
Congolo, Aina and Anderson are all forwards from the back. Loftus-Cheek and Mitrovic are in there as well. There's Decordova-Reid. It'll be Harrison Reed to whip the ball in, right-footed from out on the left-hand side. It's an in-swinging delivery. Willian Jose heads it to the edge of the box. Lamina trying to put it back in. Willian Jose just put his foot through it and launched it high in the air, and it's Neves who's giving chase. Lamina nodding back to Tete. Goes back to his keeper.
Yeah, well done, Neves. Well done, Neves, chasing it down.
Dendoncker winning it in the air. Anderson finding Decordova-Reid. Away from Matinho. Robinson running on the outside of him, and it's trying to slide it in behind Semedo, but Semedo stuck to his task and saw it behind for a goal kick.
Better defending from Semedo. Followed Robinson all the way.
0-0 as we approach an hour gone. And I wonder how much longer Nuno will leave it before maybe looking towards Fabio Silva.
Yeah, so
on the TV cameras. They're in the same thought as I did.
Yeah, there you go. Inside information from Mikey. But he's just thinking of Williams, and if he goes off here tonight and hasn't got his name on the score sheet, he'll be a bit upset about it, I think.
Harrison Reed's header unchallenged. Cody in the back of Mitrovic, who just rather waited for Cody to come and challenge.
Yeah, he was just waiting for some contact, wasn't he, Mitrovic?
And again, Fulham are sending the big boys forwards. It's right on the right-hand edge of the centre circle.
Yes.
They are prepared to launch this up towards the edge of the box.
Well, they'll probably think that this is something, with Harrison Reed taking the free kick, this is something that they can get out of the game. Set plays.
Harrison Reed's delivery to the far side of the penalty area, and it's headed goalwards, but comfortably taken on the bounce by Rui Patricio.
Yeah, like I say, we've got to try and get our front men into the game. Give Traore a chance. Every ball that's come up to him, he's been fighting with either one or two defenders.
Dendoncker trying to play the kind of ball Tomo's been calling for towards Traore. It was Congolo just got to it on the bounce. Dendoncker back to Cody. He will look downfield and again look to try and play it in behind for Traore, and Traore is quick enough, he will keep it in, and he lifted across him, but nobody was up there with him.
Well, I think Williams got to be breaking the net there to get into there. He's just jogging into the penalty area. somebody like Traore is chasing it down. I think that you've got to give him the benefits of the doubt and realise that he's going to get it.
Yeah.
But he's just jogging there, and then he realises he's got the ball, and he's miles back. That's for me. That's where he's got to be sprinting into there.
Anybody else, you can understand them kind of leaving it.
Yeah.
But Traore, he's getting that all night long.
Yeah, he is. He is. And I think that's what you've got to be looking at. So you've got to be looking. He's going to get there. To be fair, even if he doesn't get the ball, you just have a gamble to expect him to get it. That's the thing for me. So that's where you get the goals from. Having a gamble, trying to anticipate where it's going to be.
Coutinho, middle of the Wolves half, left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. 62 minutes played at Craven Cottage, still goalless. The Wolves, in our view, had one legitimately in the back of the net at the end of the first half.
I just think that changes the whole game, though, doesn't it, as well?
Lovely run here by Neves, right-hand side of the penalty area towards the byline, ran out of room. Not sure he was fully aware of his surroundings there. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek is being replaced by Andre Frank Anguissa. So Fulham going for a replacement. Try and change things for them. Still finely poised, this game. It's having the better in terms of possession second half, although it's ever so slightly gone back to pretty much 50-50. Position where it was well over 60% in the early part of the half.
There's that diagonal again, isn't it?
Anderson to Robinson. Semedo out there with him, 10 yards from the left-hand corner flag. Semedo got a foot in. Anguissa for Harrison Reed, looking to lift his cross. It'll be plucked out of the air by Rui Patricio. So the bench is on the far side from where we are.
It's just scattered with chairs along the touchline, though, isn't it? The subs are sitting in a chair.
I think Fabio Silva is still warming up by the right-hand corner flag from where we are. Wolves get a throw.
Yeah, he's definitely warming up. He's down by the corner flag, isn't he?
See the hair.
Because that's what I'm saying. I can spot the hair in the orange boots.
Semedo with a throw. Traore couldn't collect it. Another Wolves throw, though, this time closer to the halfway line.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they're not giving Traore anything, are they? As soon as he gets near the ball, say he's got 2 or 3 players straight round him, he's fighting for absolutely everything.
We've lost a ball here. It's got into the building site.
I was going to say, I thought, cleared the gantries, isn't it? TV gantry.
Semedo has a new ball. Jose was coming short. Matinho is over there as well. It goes down the line and comfortable header by Robinson. Neves will sweep it first time towards Aït-Nouri, who heads it towards Pedence, who hooked it backwards to Saiss inside his own half. Saiss looking to hit a long diagonal towards Traore. Traore trying to use his muscle and strength, and he did really well initially, and then just the unfortunate spin on the ball really took it the wrong way.
Well, that's been the trait of his game tonight, hasn't it? So like the end of it, he just seems to be fighting for absolutely everything. It's just not fell for him at all.
65 minutes played. Fulham 0, Wolves 0 on Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra. Wisa to Robinson, back to Congolo.
Yeah, with that last 25 minutes now, it's just all about making sure you're concentrating on the game now, because it's quite a close game.
It's trying to make a running behind, but Patricio is out sharply to the left-hand side of his box.
No, I think Conor Cody's just blocking him off there, didn't he? I think he's just pushed him a little bit. Mitrovic just went to ground.
Saiss. Ball comes back to Matinho, into the feet of Willian Jose. That's a nice ball to switch the play to Semedo. Over the halfway line he comes. He's got Pedence ahead of him. Here is Daniel Pedence. Semedo in field. Neves in support as well. Semedo, he's passed it straight to Robinson. Thankfully, though, Fulham have miscontrolled and Neves gets possession back. Now Matinho Looking to his left this time. Saiss further wide to Ait-Nouri. Just about level with the edge of the penalty area, and Ait-Nouri was driving in field, blocked by Decordova-Reid, but it's a Wolves throw.
Yeah, we've just got to do something. So look, I think those attacking lads have got to just be more creative. Semedo down that right-hand side needs to link up with Traore or Podence, who's down that side. We'll just need a lot more.
Ait-Nouri lifting it in. Williams Jose trying to head it towards Traore. Or Traore fouled just inside the D.
Well,
just ever so slightly to the right of centre.
Well, this is a great position. What, a couple of yards just outside the penalty area, is it? Just watching it again. Yeah, oh yeah, he's just gone straight through him, hasn't he? I wonder if they're going to go to VAR for that one just to see if it's a foul.
Well, this is one of those where it might just be a little bit too close to get it up and down. Martinho, Williams, Jose, Neves and Saiss are all stood over it. Daniel Podence is in there as well. Martinho, Williams, Jose and Podence are all walking away. So Saiss or Neves, it's ever so slightly to the side. Fulham have got a player lying down behind the wall.
Yeah, Addison Reed. He's waiting for the wall to get itself settled, and then he's put himself on the floor, that position. It seems to be something that every team seems to be going through now.
It's referred to as a draft excluder. Saiss or Neves then, from just inside the D. Referee has blown his whistle. Saiss with a couple of short steps. It's Saiss who curls it, and it's high over the top of the crossbar. They had plenty of fire and venom behind it. Just couldn't quite get the right direction.
Yeah, that was the thing missing. Like you said, he's got a curl. It's got power, but it was the direction. You can see what he's trying to do. Put it in that, well, the keeper's right-hand side in that top corner.
Just over 20 minutes left to play. Fulham 0, Wolves 0.
I just think that you've just got to make sure that you're right. Get people in the right positions. Because at the end of the day, we spoke about it at the game. I know things are getting close. If Fulham get an opportunity to win the game.
Now then, Anguissa. Anguissa trying to run to the left-hand side of the penalty area and smashing it over the top. It will be a corner, though. Saiss and Dendoncker that got across to him. Again, it was just a pretty functional straight ball that bobbled into the path of Anguissa. I think Dendoncker left him for Semedo, and Semedo wasn't anywhere near making the challenge. Nearly let Fulham in. Now a set-piece opportunity. Harrison Reed, right-footed from the left-hand side, whipped in towards the near post. Semedo heading the ball back towards the corner taker. Reed got there ahead of Podence. Then still challenging. Ball was back with Robinson, who crosses from deep towards the far post, and it comes all the way through to Ola Aina. Left-footed cross from him, back into the danger zone. Semedo heading it away again. Harrison Reed down towards Mitrovic, and it's Harrison Reed striking it goalwards, but harmlessly into the side netting. Rui Patricio was there, and he kind of let it bobble towards his goal.
Well, he must have been confident about his angles, hadn't he? So that was the thing.
Wolves trying to play out from deep. Saiss towards Williams Jose, the flick on, but Anderson there ahead of Podence. Launched it back deep in the Wolves' half. Mitrovic challenging, and Saiss had been left all on his own. It's going to be a Wolves throw in the end.
Yeah, well, that's where I think Podence has got to link up with William there. He knows he's going to win the ball. He can't do anything else but flick it on. And that's where he's got to get across a lot quicker for me, Podence.
Nuno has been in deep conversation. Somebody's coming back and getting ready, but it's not Fabio Silva. It might be Vitinha. Hard to tell.
Yeah, I can't see it on
Morgan
the
Gibbs-White.
This is Morgan Gibbs-White.
It's the crossing from the right-hand side by Tete, away by Cody. So I think it'll probably be Podence coming off. Here's Anguissa, right-hand side, just outside the penalty area. Rather ran into Neves. Lamina trying to strike it, but it's going to go harmlessly through to Patricio.
Yeah, I'm not liking this bit of pressure from Fulham. I was going to say that could have ricocheted anywhere. the shot from Fulham player.
Shots of Ivan Cavallero, the former Wolves man on the Fulham bench today. Certainly having a bit of fun with Fabio Silva. William Jose's header in field will be picked up on by Harrison Reed.
Well, we're just not offering anything in that top third at the minute, are we? And that'll be a bit of a problem for me.
Martinho's done well though. Here comes Pedence over halfway on the Wolves' right. Traore through the middle, and Pedence loses possession to Lamina.
Oh, there you go. So it just seems just be fading out. So we're offering nothing in the ways of attack at the minute. We're going to have a rethink about what we're going to do. Either the quality up to them. Traore can't get into the game. Pedence just seems to be just fading out a little bit with it. He's had a couple of chances with the ball. He's making a change, isn't he? With Gibbs White coming on.
In the meantime, Anguissa down the left-hand side for Fulham. Low cross to the edge of the box that Neves let run across him, but he managed to get a toe to it. William Jose back to Saiz, and Saiz putting his foot through it and just clearing it into the Fulham half.
No, we're just kicking it and giving it straight back to Fulham at the minute, haven't we? We've got nothing up there.
Tete leaves it for Decordova-Reid. Infield to Harrison Reed. Wide again to probably Decordova-Reid, who looks to cross from deep towards Mitrovic. Goes over the top of him. Semedo won it. That was Pedence, gave it straight back to Harrison Reed, though, and Lamina looking to cross towards the far post. Mitrovic's header will go harmlessly over the top.
Yeah, so look, just not liking what we're throwing at it at the minute. Yeah, it is Pedence coming off for Gibbs White.
Morgan Gibbs White had a pretty decent cameo coming off the bench against Liverpool the other week. Feels like a long time ago.
It does.
His last appearance. He started, of course, the Southampton FA Cup game, but substitute role against Liverpool. The only minutes he's had since then. Fulham making a change as well. Harrison Reed going off. Josh Madger coming on. So they're putting another forward on.
Well, I think with the possession that they've had, I think that they fancy themselves a little bit now to get something out of the game, because we've not really threatened them at all.
There is Decordova-Reid onto his right foot, striking goalwards, but well wide of the left-hand post of Rui Patricio.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit concerned with the way that things are going at the moment. We're just not getting out of our half at the minute, and Fulham are just starting to push. And okay, they haven't had any clear-cut chances, but there's definitely starting to ask some questions about the Wolves defending.
So Fulham have got Lamina effectively holding in midfield with Decordova-Reid and Anguissa just ahead of him. And now Madger supporting Mitrovic. In the meantime, it's Traore for Wolves, looking towards the right. More loose pass by him, and Anguissa will be able to carry it forwards, and Semedo had committed himself to the breakaway. And it's an opportunity for a low cross that goes all the way through, and somehow Ait-Nouri got a touch to it, put it back into a dangerous area, actually. And Wolves just about got it clear.
Well, I don't like the response to Traore there. He's given the ball away and just stood watching. If you make a mistake, you've got to be trying to get it right, rectify it.
Anguissa, Fulham are almost in complete control at the moment.
Well, they are. So we're not offering anything in that Fulham half at the moment. It just seems to be keep coming back.
Last quarter of an hour to play. Fulham 0, Wolves 0. Anderson's long ball towards Mitrovic. Semedo and Dendoncker over there with him. Offside flag goes up against Mitrovic. And I think that is Fabio Silva now being prepared.
Yeah, it is, I think.
The orange boots are the giveaway.
Well, I think it'd be a straight swap, wasn't it, for William, I think.
They'll be gutted. Really gutted. Cody with a free kick. Launch it forwards in the direction of Traore, run by Congolo. Neves trying to lift it here for Saiz. He's got Ait-Nouri wide. He look towards the run of William Jose. Aina, though, will just have to put it out of play.
Well,
Jose behind him.
Well, I know that wasn't what he meant to do, Saiz, but at least he got the Fulham players turning round and actually chasing back towards their own goal.
Ainori with a throw. Saiz coming short for it, and he'll look to hit a left-footed volleyed cross towards the edge of the box. Traore trying to get round his defender, and it just allowed Anderson a split second to get to the ball first. Neves winning it back, though. Looked to be fouled. Jonathan Moss agrees. Wolves free kick.
There's a good opportunity here then. Send the boys up from the back. It's a rarity for a free kick to us.
Cody is going forwards as well.
Yeah.
Be Semedo and Nori to hold back. In fact, Semedo might well just take it. Matinho will move in field. William Jose is in an offside position at the minute. He'll drop back. Saiz, Dendoncker, Cody to make the runs. Gibbs White just outside the penalty area. Neves waiting beyond everybody at the far side of the box.
Can we have a bit of quality now? It's got a great positioning. Put this in.
Semedo lifting it in. Dendoncker got his head to it. It's looping goalwards just over the top onto the roof of the netting.
Yeah, he just couldn't get enough on it, could he? Yeah, substitution coming from Wolves now. Just Willian going off.
Well, he thought he'd got his moment. William Jose waited a long time, had the ball in the back of the net, and by a hair's breadth, it was ruled offside in the build-up, and he still waits for his first Wolves goal. Fabio Silva, who scored having come off the bench at half-time on Monday night, is into the action.
Well, let's hope we can do that again.
He'll play to the left, Traore to the right, Gibbs White just behind those two. And a good pressure being put on by Wolves, forcing a mistake. And a Wolves throw deep inside the Fulham half on the left-hand side.
Well, this will be good if we get on, capitalise on their mistake.
Saiz infield to Cody. Now for Dendoncker. Over halfway to Neves in the right back role, but Neves' pass is intercepted. And Fulham trying to get things moving quickly. Decord over Reed to the right-hand side to Tete. On again towards Decord over Reed, but Saiz across in front of him and has to concede the throw.
Yeah, they've definitely got a spring in the step, haven't they, Fulham? You just saw the difference in their attack when they get on the front foot. Pace definitely increased.
Tete, now for Decord over Reed. Tete again, 10 yards from the corner flag, another Fulham throw. As we approach the final 10 minutes. Craven Cottage. Tete's left-footed cross was deep and outside the penalty area. Robinson first to the loose ball. Matinho snapping away behind him, forcing him backwards and infield to Lamina. Lamina trying to drill a pass out to Kenny Tete. Tete's cross from deep towards Mitrovic. It goes over the top of everyone, and Guisa will collect it on the left-hand side for Fulham, just outside the penalty area. Looking back on his right foot. He needs some support with Matinho shepherding him. Left-footed cross in, headed goalwards and just over the top, but it's giving us a corner. It was Ruben Neves who made the important challenge on Josh Madja.
Yeah, I was going to say, he just did enough, didn't he? Neves on Madja. Just got the block on it, but you've got to try and stop the cross. Can't allow the ball to be put in from there. Got to get closer to him. Yeah. But you can see the tempo and you can see that Fulham are desperate to get this goal.
Corner right-footed from the left-hand side by Decord over Reed. Powerful header away by Saiz. Really good clearing header.
Yeah, it was. It was a great header, wasn't it?
Lifted forwards again. Mitrovic, the flag has stayed down. Looks to be fouled. Oh, no. I thought he was fouled by Matinho, but Jonathan Moss said no.
Oh, he's got to better than Matinho.
It's one possession back again, having lost it, and clears up towards Traore, who loses his footing under no real challenge. And Guisa.
Oh, Nuno's screaming at him. He wants more from him, and rightfully so.
Maybe he needs longer studs in that case.
But he struggled to get into the game at all, hasn't he, Traore? Hasn't really got into the game at all.
Cordova-Reid down the right-hand side for Fulham. Driving on, tracked by Fabio Silva. Tete to try and cross towards Mitrovic. Again, it comes all the way through the box to Robinson. Back to Anguissa. Anguissa trying to lift it to the right-hand side of the box for Tete, who hooks it back towards the edge of the area. It'll drop again to Robinson, who fires it goalwards this time with a bit more venom. And a good save by Patricio low to his left-hand side.
Yeah, well, that's probably the first time Patricio's actually had something to do with a shot.
8.5 minutes remain. Long kick downfield. Traore gets support here from Gibbs-White. Now to Semedo on halfway. Back into his own half to Dendoncker. Infield to Cody. Short ball finding the feet of Matinho right inside the centre circle. Turning and looking to the Wolves' right. Semedo is up there. Down the line for the run of Traore. Traore turning, running towards the corner flag, and he'll settle. Oh, it's going to be a goal kick. Traore thought it should have been a corner. The officials disagreed.
Well, they're going to make it. It looks like Cavallero's coming on as well for Fulham. Then, but yeah, so look, he's frustrated. I think it's been a frustrating night for him, hasn't it? He struggled to get into the game.
Now, Ivan Cavallero, who was an excellent servant for Wolves. The journey.
Well, we talk about the players coming back to haunt us and play against the Wolves. I'm just,
There's Kenny Tete on halfway, waited for Fabio Silva to challenge and drew the free kick. And it's Ola Aina who will go off to allow Ivan Cavallero to come on. So another attacking change from Fulham. We talked about Scott Parker describing this game as must win.
Yeah, well, he's thrown enough on it. So look, he's trying to get that 3 points.
19 goals and 106 appearances for Wolves, Ivan Cavallero. Anguissa swinging wildly. The ball drops to Mitrovic, left-footed cross deflected. I think it's
just miscued
sliced and behind.
I don't think that left foot's his strongest one by the look of that. Yeah, they're definitely going for it, aren't they?
Rich Frampton says urgency, urgency, urgency. Really wanting a bit more from Wolves.
Oh, well, two there. I just watched two of the Fulham players. Must be something wrong with the ball.
Gibbs-White for Traore. To Semedo. Semedo having to go all the way back to Patricio, just inside his box, playing it low to his left-hand side to Saiz. Saiz in towards the feet of Gibbs-White, takes it on the turn, waits for support to come from Ait-Nouri. Out on the left-hand touchline, Ait-Nouri with two players around him. In the end, losing possession. Found himself in a tricky area there, Ait-Nouri. Didn't really have anywhere else he could go. Matinho with the flick. Fabio Silva's challenge. Gibbs-White with the flick on. Anderson there just ahead of Fabio Silva. Saiz challenges. Ball drops to Cody. Wide for Ait-Nouri. Back to Cody again. Now for Ryan Ait-Nouri. Down the line for Gibbs-White. It's popped up on the left-hand side. Fabio Silva has come short. Gibbs-White is shoved off the ball. And Wolves get a free kick when Fabio Silva went over, but it may well have been for the initial challenge on Gibbs-White.
I think it was on Gibbs-White. I think it was the contact on him. But again, so sending the boys up. Good opportunity here.
Jonathan Moss has blown his vanishing spray right on the line, pretty much right on the line here, down in front of us. I don't think it was that far wide. Saiz, Dendoncker affords from the back. Fabio Silva is in there as well.
Yeah, penalty between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. That's where you want it.
Ait-Nouri's delivery, left-footed, whipped in. It was Matinho who flicked it onto the near post, but straight down the throat of Areola.
Yeah, it was. So it was straight at him, wasn't it? Now they're on the counter-attack. Fulham.
And Wolves got to get back in position here. No, it's blocked off, I think, by Semedo. The pillar was in my way. Neves couldn't quite win a throw. He thought he had, but the assistant referee on the far side disagreed. We have 4 minutes of the 90 remaining.
And I presume there'll be another 4 minutes, you would think.
Semedo's foot in, another Fulham throw, this time just ahead of midway inside the Wolves half.
Just blocking me off the post.
Robinson
Long
looking
throw,
set
isn't
to
it?
put a long throw in. It was flicked off a Wolves head and it bounces off Cody through to Patricio. Patricio looking downfield, but Maggio will step across him to stop the quick clearance.
Yeah, so they're peeling for handball there, I think. Fulham.
There's Nuri infield to Matinho. Now for Dendoncker. Forwards to Neves. Wide for the right hand side to Semedo. Cross took a deflection. It'll be a Wolves corner. 3 minutes left to play at Craven Cottage. Are they going to find a bit of late drama? Steal all 3 points.
To be fair, Fulham have threw everything on now, haven't they? All their attacking options.
Corner's taken short. Matinho lifting it towards the far post. Saïs got something on it, but I think it came off the back of his head more than anything, and comfortable take.
Yeah, he got something on it, but not enough, wasn't it? There's no real power in it.
Fourth official is readying the board as Fulham launch it forwards. It went over the top of Dendoncker and Patricio out quickly there ahead of Mitrovic. Well, this result would leave Wolves 9 clear of Fulham. And Fulham have played a game more. They've got 6 remaining. Yes, Ruben Neves. Off for Nuri. Gibbs White dropping deep to get it. So we'll have 7 left after this one. Saïs for Nuri. Down the line for Fabio Silva. Nice bit of trickery to get away from Anderson. Sliding challenge came in from Lamina. It is a Wolves corner. And Fabio Silva's collided into the advertising hoarding.
Well, I was going to say, I think he just slipped, I think. He did seem like he was going into it, but he just slipped.
So that being a sore one.
Yeah. He played well there, did well there.
It's just a shove, I think, by Kenny Tete.
Yeah,
that's what sent him into the hoarding. Nuri's corner, left-footed from the left-hand side. Can he pick out someone in a maroon shirt? It goes in, headed away at the near post. Gibbs White will try and challenge. Matinho can't quite get there. Semedo to make sure he got a foot to the ball. Sent it out to the right where Neves was waiting, and across came the challenge of Congolo. It's a Wolves throw.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're keeping it in the Fulham's half and in that top third.
Matinho for Neves. On again, clever run by Gibbs White. Crosses blocked though at the near post.
Got to try and get that ball in it, yeah. Got to try and get it in.
Mitrovic cushioning ahead of down. Saïs was challenging on his way back. De Cordova-Reid. Here comes Kenny Tete. Last 20 seconds of the 90. Fabio Silva fouls.
He's on the floor before he's even got near him.
I think it's going to be 3 minutes being added on.
Yeah, well, the board's going to go up in a minute. Yeah, 3 minutes got on there. Just got to try and stop giving away set plays now. Any set pieces. Because the lads just come up from the back again for Fulham.
3 minutes for either side to try and win it. Cavallero will take the free kick. Couple yards in from the right-hand touchline. 30, 35 yards from the Wolves' goal. Defensive line is just inside the box. Cavallero right-footed, whipping it straight towards Rui Patricio. Thank you very much, Ivan Cavallero.
Yeah, if he wants to do that, that's fine.
Here's Saïs, infield to Matinho.
Oh, who's he passed that to?
Well, it was meant for Semedo, but Semedo just ran away from it.
I don't understand why he's got it off the floor, though. So Neves is just inside of him. Just play it to Neves.
Semedo was just looking downfield. I don't think he realised it was meant for him. There's Anguissa. looking to try and cross from deep towards the far post. Tete was arriving. Ait Nori got a touch to it.
Did enough.
Patricio claims.
Did enough. Was on Ait Nori.
And a minute of the three has already gone. Semedo attempted ball downfield, blocked out of play for a throw.
Yeah, you just take your time with everything now. So at the end of the day, it's more beneficial to us than it is to Fulham.
And they'll take Wolves to 36 points. May well be enough. Probably one more win, 4 more points gets you to 40, which is generally regarded as being the safety point.
Yeah.
Then we can all relax. There's Martinho for Gibbs White. Lovely turn by Gibbs White. Comes to Fabio Silva on here for Traore. Traore into the penalty area. It's all alone. He didn't need anybody. And Adama Traore has scored a stunning goal that surely has to be the winner here at Craven Cottage. It's an unbelievable move right at the death. Gibbs White started it. Fabio Silva's ball, and Traore, he only had one thing in his mind, and that was to smash it into the back of the net. It's Fulham 0, Wolves 1. What drama at Craven Cottage.
Well, so a bit of quality play, wasn't it? Great little ball down the side from Fabio Silva. But I'll tell you what, he's got his all to do still. So look, he's just gone for power, the right thing to do. He's had a quiet game tonight. He's battled for absolutely everything. But it just shows you, doesn't it? So, like, if you keep going, keep playing, because he's had a tough night for me.
48 league games without a goal comes to an end for Adama Traore. His last Premier League goal was on the 27th of December, 2019 against Manchester City.
Well, they pushed everybody up front now, so the centre halves have gone up.
We're in added time, and Guisa will leave a throw for Robinson. Backwards to Congolo. Here now comes Lamina, just to launch it forwards towards Mitrovic. It goes over the top of him. Cavallero pulling it back, and it struck into the ground, and Rui Patricio grabs the ball, and the final whistle goes, and Wolves have got themselves a massive 3 points here. A goal cruelly ruled out for Willian Jose at the end of the first half. VAR came to Fulham's rescue then. They were arguably the better team in the second period, but Adama Traore ended his long wait for a Premier League goal with a stunning moment right at the death to steal all 3 points. He's getting a massive hug from Nuno here. Adama Traore has proved the match winner. It's Wolves' first win in 6, and it is a most welcome 3 points.
Well, a little bit of justice, isn't it, from that goal being disallowed. So, look, Fulham did throw everything at Wolves. So, look, Wolves stood strong. So, look, defended well. Never really offered much going forward. We just say about Traore, he battled for absolutely everything. Nothing really come off from him. And it just shows you, so if you keep going till the end, that you can get the rewards, and he got that with the goal. So it's a good strike. It's had a good little build-up play, a bit of quality with the ball passed into him, but he had a lot to do. And so, like, for me, so look, with that goal being disallowed, Wolves deserve this victory, even though Fulham had a lot of play and a lot of attacking options in that second half. But again, go there, keep a clean sheet, always gives you an opportunity to get the win, and that's what they've done.
Absolutely massive. Wolves just edging possession. Fulham having more efforts on goal in the end as they came strong in the second period. But Wolves had the ball in the back of the net twice. One was ruled out marginally on VAR. Nothing could rule out a thunderbolt from Adama Traore. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll get more from Andy Thompson and also from Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts here on Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from League One, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at Craven Cottage, Fulham 0, Wolves 1. Wow, what a bit of drama to end things up there. Adama Traore, at the 49th time of asking in the Premier League, has finally got his name on the score sheet. Chris Iwelumo, what a moment. Not a great performance second half, but that could be big for the morale and confidence of this group of players.
No, it's massive, isn't it? You think about it, the finish itself, that is worth waiting for. I have to say, I think the weight of pass from Fabio Silva, again, come on, impact player, makes a difference. I've got to say, it was the urgency of Fulham that actually got us in it. The ball came out, bounced off Anguissa, and we bounced onto it, and it fell to Silva in a little bit of space. The quality of pass, the weight of pass was outstanding, but the finish itself, different class. And a game, and I know what Tom was saying, that kind of rights the wrongs of the first half. We didn't really deserve anything, but it's a result business.
Yep.
Two moments of quality. We've seen the ball in the back of the net twice. You know what I mean? We never really done anything else. There was some good quality coming in the box from dead ball situations. Again, just wrong decisions. That bit of quality in that attacking third just kind of let us down. But you know what? We have criticised Traore, saying that his goal returns needs to be better. I know the assists, he does his job, but you know what? He can do that. He can do that every game. He's got moments. He's got such a presence. And we're all confidence players, no matter where you are. When you're hitting the back of the net regularly, then it becomes a natural thing. But you know what? I'm absolutely delighted, because that result, it came from nowhere. And Wolves have done that time and time again. That's what we know, solid, nullifying the threat, defending well. And you know what? We have individuals that can turn the game on its head, and that's exactly what happened.
Stay in the game, isn't it? Stay in the game. We all would have played for managers, heard it so many times. Stay in the game, stay in the game. And it wasn't a good performance. It was solid, steady, and you're waiting for something that just goes your way, and you end up winning the game. And like Lewis said, Wolves have done it time and time again, and it wasn't exciting to watch. It wasn't like last week, but we lost last week, and this week, that win, not only was it a win tonight, I think that keeps you up. Now, that puts any story to bed. You're 12 points above Fulham. That's that done. Now you can start planning and preparing for next season.
Sam, just hold on there. Let's get down. Let's get down, because I can see just over on the far side we have got the Wolves captain, Connor Cody, waiting to join us here on Matchday Live Extra. There he is, my old friend. How are you?
Hello, fellas. You all right? How's things? You okay? Feel a bit better.
Hey, we're all good now, Coach. We're all good now.
Yeah, I feel a bit better after that, mate. If I'm honest, now I'm made up with it.
Yeah, try and describe that feeling to us, Codes, because Adama, he's waited so long to get a Premier League goal, and when he ran through, I said in commentary, he was kind of all on his own, and then he didn't need any support, smashed it in.
Oh, what a finish. Listen, Hammerfoot, isn't he? He does it all the time. Do you know what I mean? He does it all the time in training. It's something where he hits them so hard, and I think it's one of them where he can go anywhere. And obviously today it's sweetly off his foot and flew into the top corner at the near post. And listen, we needed it. We dug in. I thought first half we were really good, if I'm honest with you. And then I don't think we managed it well enough in the second half. They pressed. He started to press a little bit higher, and I don't think we controlled it well enough by trying to play over it and around it and different things. So that's something we need to work on. But because we had to stay in the game today, it was a massive, massive game for us. We said that coming here, how important it was for us. And listen, we're stuck in there and scored a fantastic goal at the end, so it's great.
Connor, I have to ask you, I'm not going to ask you to talk about the officials and the decision after the first half, but when you walk in at half-time, how important is it, the boys coming together, not feeling sorry for themselves and going out there and just performing and getting something? Because that, you can feel sorry for yourself after that decision goes against you, can't you? Yeah, spot on, mate, spot on. Do you know what the biggest thing is? And I thought it was a good thing that half-time was right round the corner. That was a big thing for us, because I think if the game carries on, you can lose focus. You see players asking the referee. And by the way, I know it sounds daft, but I feel a little bit sorry for the referees, because I'm asking the referee on the pitch who was offside and different things, and he's saying he doesn't know, and you're thinking, referee's here. Do you know what I mean? So it's honestly, it's silly, because at first you think, is it Nelson on the diag, or is it Prudence, or is it Willie? It's a tough one to get your head around. So it's something where, listen, I've spoken about offsides many more times than this, and it's something which we don't like. I don't think anybody likes it. Supporters, people of Wolves, people of other clubs, but got to get our head around it. We're just lucky we're staying here with 3 points, aren't we?
Coach, last minute winner. Not only is the best time to score in it for a defender, you run up, celebrate. You know the game's done now. We're done. We've won the game.
Well, you do, and then you see Mitrovic, Anderson, everybody still on the halfway line running at you like they're about to flip in rugby tackle.
Hey, you're a big centre half now, lad. You're a big centre half. Get your head on it.
I try and play with my head. You know what I'm like, mate. You know what I'm like. And then you see that and you go, got a minute left. But no, we were saying on the pitch right now, and be brave. Try and stay up. Don't let them sink us into our own box. Be brave. There's a minute left, and you know yourself, mate. The feeling of scoring in the last minute, a goal like that. And like I said, the biggest thing about it today was just staying in the game, the character we kept to keep a clean sheet, to keep it at 0. And like I said, staying in it and take the 3 points, it's such a good feeling, mate, and especially after last week as well.
Was that said at half time, Connor? Was that said at half time about making sure that we keep a clean sheet, make sure we stay in the game? Or was Will still getting on with the goal?
No, staying in the game's always important, mate. Staying in the game's always important. It's always something we speak about. Listen, we haven't done it enough this season. I think we'll be the first to tell you that. So that's always important. I think, like you said, I thought we were always going to come out second half, because I thought we played really well first half. We moved the ball, we scored a great goal with William, which ended up being offside. But we knew they were going to come out, and it would have been best we managed it a little bit. Like I said, started to play over and played in their half a little bit more. But it's something we can learn on. Listen, it's always good learning on things when you win. I think when you get beaten, you struggle to watch games back because it's tough, because obviously you've been beaten the game. So it's always good to learn off wins, and that's something we'll do now.
Because that was something that you did. Sorry, that was something that you did in the first half, wasn't it? You started to play a lot of balls into the corners, just over the top, to get them turned. Was that something that you've looked at?
Yeah, it's not something that we've looked at. I think it's just a little bit of game intelligence within the game, to be honest with you, seeing where their defenders are, because I think they started off a little bit deeper, and then you could see the confidence coming into them. I thought where they were trying to step up a little bit more, and it was something as they're stepping up with the pace we've got in behind. I think it's important you can try and utilise that as much as possible. And like I said, I don't think we've done that enough. Even in the second half, trying with second balls, going longer, and sometimes the bad passes turn into good passes because they had down to one of our men and we've got it in their half. So I think it's something we can learn. We can learn from going forward, and like I said, to learn from a win is always better.
I've got a few little niggles on the pitch. Substitutes, come on. As I say, it's a squad game, isn't it? Everyone's on the same page.
Oh, massively, mate, massively. You even see the lads coming on. Morgan, he has some fantastic touches, getting into them little pockets, getting on the half turn. He's brilliant at doing that. That's what he wants to do. And then obviously Fabio coming on last week, scoring his goal and playing through to Adama tonight. That'll do him the world of good. Fantastic people, mate, who are very much part of this football club moving forward. And when we see them come on and make a difference like that, we give them all the praise in the world, because that's what they do. That's what they've got to do if they're coming off the bench. And they've done that tonight and made a real difference for us.
It's never dull, is it, being a Wolves player, when you look back at what you've gone through this week?
Or a Wolves fan.
It's been tough, mate, and I'm sure for everybody associated with our football club. Listen, it's something where Monday we found ourselves 3-0 down within half an hour, and it weren't good enough from our point of view. We looked at it, we had words, we spoke. It weren't good enough from our point of view. But then to come here today, like I said, it was all about the result. It was all about sticking in there and trying to play as well as we can, which I thought we'd done first half. And there's always bits to learn. So to come away with 3 points today is massive, and it'll give us a bounce going into next week now. Definitely, you know what it's like.
I think you can relax now. I never thought you were in danger, but 3 points You're well away from the bottom three now.
You're always a little bit nervy, mate. I'll be honest. I'll be deadly honest with you. I think it's something where when you're in the position you are, and what was it before the game? 9 points or whatever it is. I don't know what it is now.
You was 9 before, so that's why it's a big game. So now you're 12. For me,
it's huge for us. And the thing is, we just want to keep on looking up. It's not necessarily about looking behind us. The players might tell you they don't, but I certainly do. It's something you do. It's natural that comes to you. It's like that, but you just want to pick up as many points as possible, and we're focused on improving and focused on getting better because we've got 7 games left now, and we spoke about a mini season and how important it is to really try and take momentum into next. So this is a good start, and like I said, we'll work on what we need to work on next week to get better for Sheffield United now.
Listen, mate, well done, well played tonight, and congratulations. Go and enjoy yourself, pal. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, fellas. Safe trip home.
Well done, guys.
I know some of you are already in the comfy. See you later.
Connor Cody here joining us live on Matchday Live Extra. It is worth making that point, isn't it? Because, you know, he was pretty honest there, wasn't he, Tomo, in the way he described that he wasn't particularly happy with the way they managed the game in the second period, but they got the clean sheet. And if as long as, and we spoke before the game about this habit of conceding the first goal.
Yeah.
They are now still 8 times this season they've scored the first goal and they haven't lost.
But we've said it before. So like, if you can keep clean sheets, it keeps you in the game. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you can keep the ball out, it always gives you an opportunity. It doesn't matter if you're not having a good day. And there wasn't in the second half. I thought the first half they did control the game. But the second half they struggled to get up to Fulham or get at Fulham. But what they did, they defended well. They kept themselves in the game. They made sure that, and that's what happens. It allows you to get that opportunity right at the end there when Traore's gone through to score and win and get the 3 points. And that's what it's all about. And Connor's just touching on that about that's what they want to do. They want to stay in the game. They want to make sure that they don't give away silly goals. There was 3-0 down after half an hour, as he said, against West Ham. And that would have hurt them. So they've come here tonight and they've kept a clean sheet and got those 3 points. And it'll feel absolutely massive for them with that victory.
So let's go back all the way, boys, because we spoke an awful lot at half-time about the VAR decision. We're obviously very angry with the way it had gone, and it meant that we didn't really discuss the fact, Looms, that we lost Pedro Neto in that first half. And in a funny way, did it kind of help them? Because Moutinho coming on meant Dendoncker going back, and they slipped back into a formation that at the moment it looks like they're more comfortable with.
I have to say probably yes. You know, I think, again, a formation that they understand. I know it's a massive loss. Pedro Neto can win games out of nothing. But I've got to go, it's such a massive 3 points that I know the season's not done, but now, like Sam alluded to at the start and at half-time, that Nuno can now play with a little bit more freedom, you know, and I know the objective is still to go out there and win games, but now to kind of blood some young players, give them a little run of games to try and get them in a right place for what is going to be a big season next year, because it has to be. You know, I think we all understand, there's been injuries, and that's what probably allows us to actually then go, right, okay, we can accept where we are in the league because of the injuries. But next year, everyone's back, and it just gives Nuno a little bit more freedom, the club, the players, that they can actually go and just try a few little things so that we hit the full run next year. It's massive 3 points.
Yeah. I just think that everybody will be relieved. I think that, as Connor was just touching on there is a little bit of pressure about tonight's game because they knew what it meant. That the Fulham, if they got that victory, that they come a little bit closer, drags them down a little bit more. But if they got the 3 points as they have done, the relief, what they felt, you've seen what it meant to the players, you've seen what it meant to the staff. And again, so you can see what it means to us in the commentary as well, where we were jumping up for when we scored. So look, it's made for everybody feel better about everything that's tough after the West Ham game. But to get the victory and come to Fulham and say, get the 1-0 and the 3 points is just great.
You wouldn't want to go into next week. You wouldn't want to go into Sheffield United, forget where they are in the league, needing to win that game. You want to go in there 6 points above the bottom three. What if one of them won that game? Then all of a sudden you're playing with pressure. You're playing inhibited. Looms has said, and Tomo's right, you can relax now. You can play and you can build for next year, because this year, transition. Next year, no. We've got to go again. You've got to be top half pushing Europe again.
But the longer they went on as well, without getting a victory, the more pressure would have been gathered to sell up. Because you think about it, thinking, hang on a minute, if they had lost tonight or they hadn't got a victory tonight, all of a sudden that pressure starts to come because you're looking to try and get that win, and you're coming up against teams that we've got around about that relegation area. Say we're playing three of the bottom teams as well in the space of this.
Yeah, Sheffield United and Burnley at home, Albion away, Brighton at home, and the next run of games.
Well, you look at that, so they're all fighting for their lives. And
Can I ask,
go on, sorry, go on.
Right now, we all know Nuno and how amazing he is, right? But and it's one of them. Otasowi's got to be playing for me. Vitinha's got to be getting games. All these players that we're just getting little glimpses of, and we can see the quality that they've got. But Sam, do you just throw them all in?
I don't think he will. I don't think Nuno will. At most, he'll do it for the last 2 or 3 games. At most, he'll always play his strongest team. But
look at the injuries. There's another injury tonight with Neto. Pudence went off with a little niggle. He's just come back. This is, and we've shown. Otasowi came on against Chelsea, boom, strong. He started the next game and he was football intelligence against Burnley. He was going as the top man. So we see little glimpses. Vitinha's not really had a real run of games in the Premier League, and I just think it's a fantastic opportunity. If we, I don't believe that even if he did throw them all in, that we'd go on and lose them all. But that experience in the next so many games from now to the end of the year, that you can't replicate that in any other way.
The situation, though, at playing devil's advocate a little bit and maybe putting the club side of it in there is that, of course,
the per place position,
every position in the table is worth an awful lot of money.
How much?
And it's a good couple of million per place. Yeah. And so if you look at it now with that run of fixtures, I mean, it's crazy in footballing terms that all of a sudden we've gone from potentially looking over our shoulder to now going, well, we're only 4 points off 10th place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're going for top 10 now, aren't you?
And especially in this climate as well, Mikey, I think, financially all clubs have felt it. So, again, it's a motivational tool, isn't it, for Nuno, that he knows, again, maybe one, 2 players come in, but it's not going to be just an overhaul of young players coming in to get that experience, and that's completely understandable. I completely forgot about the placing and the money in it, because that is massive to all clubs, no matter who they are in this moment in time.
But even with that, he could still play Owen Otasowi one game. Yeah. He could still play someone else another game, and definitely get the game in, and definitely end up with Fabio Silva. He looked again a player. He looks a bit bigger. I was talking about earlier, saying about Neto being a bit stronger. He looks bigger now than he did 6 months ago.
Well, he must,
working on him.
I think he must realise that that's part of his game that he's got to improve.
But it's important
running now, by the way.
Yeah, but it's important that he's putting size on, but he doesn't lose that speed. It's one of those things that he'll speak to the sports scientists there. He'll get his off-season programme like Neto done, because Conor Cody, remember the game against West Ham, and he says, to be fair, he's came back, his muscle mass is up. His body fats is down. He's peaking all. He's beating all his old times. So that's the way that they do it properly. So he now knows what the Premier League takes. He now knows the physicality that he has to have, the muscle, the presence. That aggression going attacking balls. I guess that comes with confidence when you've got a little bit. He'll come back a different player in that sense. But that the quality he's got with feet, his movement, intelligence, it's all there.
Can we talk about Morgan Gibbs-White? Because Fabio Silva plays the pass, but he doesn't make that pass if Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't drop the shoulder, Sam, on halfway, takes the challenge as well, probably gets fouled and would have been brought back had it not gone to Fabio Silva. I thought he had a nice little cameo there.
He is, and you probably put him in a similar sort of bracket as Fabio Silva, really. I know he's played more games, but you want him to have a run of games. I know he has done he went out to Swansea, come back. But go on then, because the time has to come where Morgan has to be, he's either good enough to play for Wolves or he goes elsewhere. Yeah. I think he's good enough to play, or hopefully he is. He's got the potential to do it. So,
where are you playing him though, Sam? Where are you playing him?
It's a bit like I was Sean earlier about Loftus-Cheek. Where do you play Loftus? He's very similar to that, really.
That's why I'm saying a 10. He has to play in that 10 role, doesn't he? For me, he's got it all. For me, he has got it all. He's got the engine. He's got he reads the game very well. The technical ability, for me, he's a number 10 because he knows when to go in behind. And if it is like a Willian Josie or Raul Jimenez, he is the perfect mould to actually then, because the way that the three play behind that point man, they all rotate anyway, the movement. Dama Traore probably hugs the right side a little bit more. Yeah. But even when he doesn't, because you called it, even when he has that freedom, it causes problems. So for me,
could be a big reason why Nuno's trying to get to a back four, to try and get a 10 in. Because in the 3-4-3, there isn't a 10. And we've got a few 10s, haven't we? Fernandes is really a 10. Obviously, Morgan, Vitana, they're all a bit 10s, really. So he's trying to probably get them in the team and more goals, ideally, from that position.
Well, it, of course, then allows you to play Traore a little bit more higher up and a little bit more central on the shoulder. And finally, we have seen that bear fruit tonight, because that will be a big moment for him, won't it? This is his time to kick on now in terms of goal scoring. Reminiscent of West Ham away. Do you remember, Tomo? Yeah. Right early on in the Premier League. That's what we know he can do.
Well, there's no doubt in the ability what he's got and what he can offer to this team. I thought that he struggled, especially in the second half tonight. I thought that he struggled to get into the game. He just seemed to be wrestling or fighting with everybody for every ball that come to him. Is that down to like the passing to him or the quality up to him? I don't know. But it just shows you when he does get a bit of freedom what he can do. And like I say, it was a great strike for the winning goal. But somebody like him, I think that with the assets that he's got, and he should be getting more goals. Without doubt, he should be getting more goals. The ability that he's got and the power that he's got, he should be scoring a lot more frequent than he actually is. And just for me, I just think that we've got to find a way that we can use him or utilise him a lot better. I just thought in that second half especially, I think we struggled to get him into the game. And it just shows you when we can release him, what he can actually do.
He's a marked man now, isn't he? After last year, he's a marked man. So there's more tension on him, more opposition aware of him now, and he's struggling to lose. I think him and Doc had a really good partnership where Doc would just go wandering anywhere and it would free up space for Traore. He's still he can't free himself up to get the space. Like you said, he's wrestling, he's fighting because he can't get the space to it. As soon as he can, then he takes some stopping.
No, I'd put him up. I'd put him up top sometimes as well, just as a number 9. Because imagine the fear of life that goes into centre backs. How do they mark it? They can't. He's got the physical that he can hold the ball up, but you know what? It's just the Jamie Vardy one, little clip, quality ones down over the set. He's unplayable.
You're not getting there.
Oh, you're not getting there. You're not getting there.
Let's just see how on the half turn though, isn't it, as well? I think that he struggles with his back to it a little bit.
Well, how deep are the defenders going to be up against him when he's playing as a central? I tell you what, there'll be parked outside the yard box. But the fact that he's impossible to play against.
Yeah, he is. But I just think that he's just got to have a look at his positioning when
that can be coached, Tomo. That can be coached.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Because he's all the talent and the ability that he's got. He's going to threaten anybody he plays against. So with the pace and the speed that he's got, he's going to be an absolute nightmare for teams.
Last couple of minutes then, boys.
Results. The results. Don't forget. Don't try and talk. 1-0 was it? Was it 1-0?
I was waiting for this.
It was. I mean,
the thing is, Mikey, see, it would have brought it up as soon as we started. What was he talking about? No, man.
Let me fade him out. Technically, I think we should count Willian Jose's goal and therefore 2-0, and I win.
Well done, Looms.
I'm only joking. Just a quick one. This will be interesting. Who would you go for as the man of the match tonight? I knew that would stump all three of you. That's a tough choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a real tough choice.
Just having to think.
Who jumps out at you, Looms?
Well,
first thought.
The hardest thing to do in football, score goals. So you got to give it to Traore for putting with the finish. And I think it was one of his endeavour. Like Tomo says, he wanted to fight everyone. You can see what it meant to him. But he's got to manage that anger, that temper, that frustration. But he's done it. He's answered us all, hasn't he? He's got that goal. And it was worth the wait. So he's put 3 points on the board out of a game that we didn't deserve. I don't think you can look any further than Traore.
Go on, Tom.
Good argument by the Strikers Union there. I can't really argue against it, I don't think.
Yeah, but I'm going to go against it. So look, I thought Connor Cody for me. So I thought he played really well at the back. I think he marshalled them really well.
Yeah.
From the 4 and then going to the 3. I think some of his passing was good as well, so especially in that first half. So I'm going to go for a defender. Yeah, he was. So look, I thought that he did it really well. So I'm going to go for a defender. So if he's going for a striker, Looms, I'll go for a defender.
Go on, Sam.
I had sided with Looms, but I'm turning out now. I'm Cruyff turning out and going with Tomo Codes. It didn't cross my mind. Now, Codes, range of passing, leadership, everything what you probably don't really hear and see on the TV, but I know he would have been talking all game, that's for sure.
Our producer was desperate for Cody to get man of the match as well. So I think we'll go with that. Connor Cody is our man of the match from Matchday Live Extra. Tonight, Chris Iwelumo finally got a prediction right, and he will not let us forget it.
It's been a couple, mate. Don't worry about it. It's been a couple.
No. This seems like a very rare occurrence.
No, it's not, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Anyway, don't celebrate too much.
I'll feed you out, pal.
Don't celebrate too much. You've got to get back to all the romance that you've been doing recently.
That's all done, mate. That's me done. Stress is over, mate. It's all good. That's me done now until next year.
Pressure's off.
Anyway, thank you, Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts and Andy Thompson. Let me remind you that we have plenty more to come this weekend on Wolves TV. Our coverage of Wolves women in the FA Cup third round against Watford is live and free on Sunday afternoon. And we'll also bring you coverage of the under-23s in action on Monday afternoon here on Wolves TV up against Newcastle as well. Thank you very much for watching. We didn't even need to talk about VAR after the game because Adama Traore's late bit of drama took all 3 points.
You're everywhere